This is Ash. We're going to talk about making some chests, and we're going to go over a lot of topics today. Uh, a bunch of things that I learned and discussed. What was it? Thursday? Yeah, Thursday. I did the live at West Key and Hardwoods. It was not a great video. It did not look as bad as it did for you guys, for me, on the camera. It did not, on the camera phone as I was filming it, it was actually a really good image. But the quality was
Audio
so
one, two,
far
three,
from
four,
what
five.
actually got to you guys on YouTube. It was pretty hard. But the meat and potatoes were there, and just get to see how big this place was and how impressive it was. And I'm going to go over a couple of things people couldn't find on the website. We're going to show you that on the website. Where you found this project packs. Carl looked and couldn't find them. And a lot of the stuff they have is great, great.
Audio.
Some of it's advertised that way, some of it's not. And I'm going to show you how to look for that because someone commented, and we'll see in a minute, about these guys are a good ways away, but Rockler's really close, and by the time they pay the freight, they felt like Rockler was going to be just as
One,
good a
two,
deal.
three, four,
East don't
five.
have freight on a lot of this stuff, so you still get it at wholesale and free freight, so it's still worth looking into. And I don't have a dog in this fight. I don't get any kind of
Oh my
compensation for
god,
this.
I
I'm
what?
just trying to help you guys out and make you aware of what's
Fucking
out there.
echo.
So I'm going to jump over here to YouTube comments real quick and address some of these comments and questions and give the
Audio
latecomers
one,
time
two,
to get
three,
here
four,
before we
five, six, seven,
jump in
eight,
here
nine,
and start
ten.
talking about the chest. And it's a lot more went into designing this and coming up with a really nice finished piece, more so than just creating the box. So look at these comments and look at them. Comments and questions. Hey there, I have people who are really quick. What's the first thing you do in the morning? Would you mind sharing? And they are wrecking the health of millions of Americans right now. Most of them don't even know. But the good news is, if you know what they are, there's a way to feel better. Not in years or months, but sometimes in just days. So you're healthy enough to take on anything the world may throw you. And I'm living proof. That's me, Chuck Norris. You probably know me as one of the biggest action movie stars of the last 50 years. I also served in the United States Air Force, and I'm a world champion blackjacker. The things I value most in life are my faith, my family, and my country. But there's one more really important thing we don't talk about enough: our health. And as we get older, it becomes more and more of a problem. After age 30, our metabolism changes. We have less energy and we gain weight easier, especially around the hips and
Audio
belly. After
one,
age
two,
40,
three,
muscles start to
four,
decline.
five.
Our bodies feel weaker. And for most people, it gets worse every year. Simple things like height and sports get harder and harder. After 50, collagen breaks down and our joints start to ache. We get stuff to play with kids and grandkids. We sometimes even lift household objects or open a jar. We lose mental energy. Brain fog becomes normal, and inside our bodies, even our digestion slows down. That can lead to issues like bloating, fatigue, and even unhealthy food cravings. If you've dealt with any of these things, you're not alone. And if we don't support our bodies, these problems just get worse and worse. A few years ago, my
Audio.
wife Jean
Turn
and I
it all the
decided
way
to
up.
do something.
One, two,
We
three,
began
four,
researching
five.
every way we could to turn back the clock and help people feel great again. I tried everything. Some things worked a little, others did nothing at all. But a few things not only worked, They literally transformed my health. And what I've learned is that anybody can achieve great health regardless of their age. Today, I'm 81 years old, and I look and feel better than I have in years. My digestion is now fantastic. My body is lean, and my muscles and joints feel strong and healthy. I've got the energy I need to run around with family, do chores around the ranch, and socialize with friends till late in the evening. Most important of all, my body just feels good. How'd I do it? In the end, the solution was actually really simple. There were three internal enemies attacking my health. And by just fixing these three things, I've now got tons more energy, better digestion, feel younger and stronger. It's how we all need to feel if we're going to be fully prepared for any situation. The first thing I fixed is something you may have heard about recently. Internal enemy number one, hugely important to overall health. In fact, having healthy bacteria in your gut is directly related to healthy weight, more energy, great digestion, and a ton of other benefits for your entire body. The problem is, when the bad bacteria in your gut get out of control, they literally hijack your health, causing everything from weight gain, unhealthy food cravings, bloating, and even issues with skin and joints. Now, the way you can help fix your gut is actually pretty simple. Step one, rebalance. All right, Sun Centaur has commented on the Celtic knot video, and it says that this worked really well the first time. Now every time I get so far, the nodes go away. Usually around the time I group each pair of circles. At that point, I can't get them back. What am I doing wrong? Yeah, they are going away as soon as I group them. Not sure why I got away with it the first time, but now I can't do it again. I keep watching the video step by step to see if I'm missing something. Well, you answered your own question. They go away when you group them. You cannot see nodes when items are in a group. And they're not. Um, let's do new, low. Okay. So if you have a polygon and you got an offset. Oh, did I switch? I didn't switch. Nope. There we go. So I drew out a polygon, and we're going to do just a 10 millimeter offset. Do not delete. Say okay. So if I look at that and I look at the nodes, there's the nodes of that one. That one's not converted to a path yet, so let's select it, convert to a path. Because you have to be a path to see the nodes as well. So there's the nodes of the inner one. There's the nodes of the outer one. But if you were to take these and group them, and then go to node editing, you can't see any node. But now that you have that as a group, you've gone into node editing and you hit ungroup, then you'll be able to see the nodes on both of them. So the answer to your question is, as soon as you group them, then you made the nodes not visible. You can't see the nodes of the group. So that's the answer to that comment. And now let's go back over to YouTube. Harry suggested that part of my problem, or resolution of my problem, is to record my cameras on SD cards and then import those and edit them into something. I don't have SD cards in any of my cameras. I could buy them, could do that. But someone else suggested that I start trying to use OBS instead of the active presenter that has been giving me nothing but problems. And I'm making some progress with OBS, so I will be able to start doing some videos. Hopefully, I'll be able to record some videos showing the laser doing its thing and provide it or show it in the video as well using the OBS and my other software.
Really like these balls. I have to grow them now. I normally wear a 34 double D. Holds girls like where they're supposed to be, or women of a certain age. That's really helpful. I like the fact that there's that that sticks out over the top there. What do you think? Give it a try. Hate wearing bras? Then you might want to check this out. I hate regular bras. As a busty gal, I have always struggled. I'm a 34.
Bill said that this was incredible. I have known of them, but of course had no idea they were that large. And he was referring to the tour of West End hardwoods. They are huge. And the video I was talking about was the print and cut in my advanced tips design. Someone else had made a comment about using a fence inside the laser to keep the wood square as you're sliding it through for doing with the pass through. And I was aligning it off the corner of my honeycomb. And Steve Springer commented the squareness of the honeycomb is immaterial. It's the path of the laser head that matters. As you rightly pointed out, being off by a millimeter at the top of the board will result being off several millimeters at the bottom. The only way to have true accuracy is have the two sides of the board be perfectly parallel, same at top and bottom. If you're buying pre-cut lumber, this is rarely true. And two, clamp a fence with a honeycomb and cut it with the laser. Now that board fence is going to be perfectly parallel to the path of the laser. And this would be a step that you would need to absolutely do if you're using probably any other laser besides the rotor. The honeycomb is perfectly square, and the honeycomb is in a fixed position, and my gantry and my axis are perfectly square, and everything is precision. So he is correct in what he was saying about the squareness of the honeycomb not necessarily being relevant, but when you're working with a precision piece of equipment like the Rolly Laser-Matic, then you can get away with not having to do a lot of those steps. Using that fence does help. It shouldn't be necessary with print and cut because part of the idea of print and cut is it's supposed to take into consideration the fact that you may have gone askew with your board as you're moving it if you've gone off the right registration marks. But I found that it was better and more accurate and gave me better results if I did use a fence, even with the print and cut. Karen McDowell said that they needed to plan a field trip so they could come down and we could do a walkthrough together. Would love to see how some of the wood can be used in the Rolly Laser-Matic. And sometimes it's easier to see things through your vision, by me. Glad to see him feeling better and have a blessed day. Thank you. Yeah, Matthew is the one that said that he wished that West End was closer, but Walk was 20 minutes away. And with shipping, the price is pretty much the same. I'm going to show you on the website here in just a second. Dave said, thanks for the wonderful tour. Mark said he wished that his hobby places had those project packs. The project packs are really a great way to figure out what hardwoods you like to work with, especially if you have the means of processing your own wood. I got this in a project pack when I was up there Thursday, and this is maple, and it's 9.5-inch 3/4 of an inch thick, just under 10 inches wide. And look at the wood grain in this. This is really, really pretty good. And I'm going to process this down to probably 3 boards, at least 2. But the grains in here are absolutely beautiful. And that's got a lot like curly, and even some maybe even a little bit of bird's eye. But there were multiple pieces in this project pack, and they can be processed and make some really beautiful wood. And those are going to be great for doing my inlays. In fact, what I'm doing with these, I'll process them down and get a piece that's going to be at least 10 to 12 inches wide, and I'm creating a piece that's going to have multiple inlays in it. This will be for Duke. Then I'm going to do Osage orange down here for the ice cream cone, and then use the Duke, which is a red, up here for the ice cream, so they look like it's a scoop of strawberry ice cream on the cone, and all that'll be inlaid in the maple. That's going to be gorgeous. But what I learned while I've got this was my first practice piece, and this was some ash that I put together, bookmarked it, book matched it. You can see the center of it right there, and the knot where they were ripped. But what happened, I put this in the lowermost left front corner. And I went with Dimitri's suggested setting in Ashwood, and it's a really, really high rate of speed. And I was fine going on the x-axis. But when I started going on the y-axis, because of the amount of overscanning and that high rate of speed, it caused it to get out of alignment because it didn't have enough room for the gantry to go all the way to the overscanning, so it caused it to jump, if you will, and you can cause misalignment. You see up there where it started burning, up there where it should have been burning inside the initial engraving, and that was because of overscanning. And I had it too close to the bottom corner, and I didn't allow enough room for my material in the overscan. I knew that. I just forgot it. It had been a long time since I had run into a situation like that. But I went ahead and continued playing with it and practiced doing some inlays there with the boot and the ash. It's going to look better in the maple, especially with all the pearl. Let's see here. Back to the comments. I'm not sure who this is because they at user such and such. Made him seasick, love you, but this is bad. And then continued on with another comment, bad picture. Yeah, I had no idea just how bad it was because, like I said, in mine, and when I was doing it, I actually had a good picture on the camera. Just poor connection. If you make it to West Bend, if you're semi-local and you get there, you'll see they're kind of out in the distance. It's big, huge buildings with metal roofs. So it didn't have the best cell. So
Yeah,
that's what I
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 7.
And I mentioned that West End is doing some international shipping. So if you go to their website and you see some stuff that you maybe like to have and you're not in the United States, you can contact them and ask them about international shipping. And the reason they can't just do across the board international shipping, because they deal with exotic hardwoods, and not all species are permitted in all countries. So you might find something you really, really like, and let's try that, but they can't ship it to your country because of the import laws. So they would say, no, not like a banned species, can't bring it into the country. And this one, I kind of got a kick out of this one. At Portland, I don't know if that's at Portland, Indiana, or Portland, I don't know. And because of their lack of punctuation, I don't know if this is a comment or a question. You going to video chat or going to do lasering videos? Question mark or comment? I don't know. Well, I'm doing both. And
Audio.
if you want a channel that's going to hit a button and you're going to watch my laser
Audio,
for 20 or 30 minutes,
4, 5.
out something, and then you get a free file with it, then this ain't the channel for you. I'm guessing that most of you watching have a laser. And if you want to watch a laser, you can watch your own laser. You don't need to watch my laser. I am going to be showing videos using my laser and how I set things up. But this will never be a 90-minute video of you watching my laser run. I might occasionally
Audio 1,
choose
2,
your 30
3,
video.
4, 5,
I might
6, 7,
occasionally
8,
upload
9,
a
10.
video of me just making a project without even me being the talking head. Just the laser cutting out something and making the assembly, and then there you go, there's a finished piece. But I'm trying to convey what I learned on a weekly basis to my viewers and subscribers. And so if you don't like me, if you don't like me, then this ain't the channel for you. I invite you to go over and watch another channel. I wanted to address this one before we get
Audio
back to Carl's
1,
comment.
2, 3, 4, 5.
Larry Scott, we had a question regarding the 48-inch of using the pass-through and the print and cut, and I found that it was easier, or I got better results by creating two initial target points, so that I was telling the laser where the top of the board was at, so it knew how far to come down before it started engraving. Well, his question was, hey, great video. I do have a question about the original two targets.
I turn mid all the way down.
I have
I
a
turn
question
low
about
all
how
the way
the
down.
original two targets work with the additional targets. Triangles or parallelograms, or the parallelograms, I assume the wider the additional points, the more accurate the input. I'm lost on where you came with triangles or parallelograms, Larry, because I only put little bitty circles in there, and I use little bitty circles on the corner of for the initial ones for the corner of the material. And then I move the laser to the left corner and assign it that position, and then move it to the right corner and assign it that position. And by using the small little bitty targets, then it's got a very fixed position to go to. I don't know where you're coming with the additional targets being either triangles and parallelograms, because you're only giving it a fixed position of an X and Y coordinate. So you don't, if you actually made it a parallelogram or a triangle, and if it wasn't directly centered over that X and Y coordinate, then that might be a problem. So create a little bitty circle, a perfect circle, and put it directly over the point you want it to be at, and that is where you set your target positions. Either your first ones or your third ones.
Suppression is all the way up.
I don't know where, but I didn't quite understand why you wanted to use triangles or parallelograms or what have you. All right, so Carl and a few others mentioned issues about not being able to find some of the stuff that I showed you in the live stream for West End. And I'm going to show you this, and then we're going to get into this design work. Now we've got a bunch of you showing up, and I'll come back and look
Audio
at questions,
1, 2, 3,
and then
4,
we'll go
5.
into how I created from a basic box to this finished piece here. So this is with my zebra wood. We went from that to this, and did a lot of this, starting with a very basic design from Gravini, but with a lot of modifications. And we'll get there in just a second. So if we go over to West End's website, like I said, I don't have a dog in this fight at all. I'm showing you this for your benefit, and I have no no benefit from it whatsoever.
I'm gonna turn the gain up
But this is
to
the home page. And if
12.5.
you go to products, and then you come down here to thin dimensional lumber. Thin dimensional lumber. You click on that one, then it's going to open up the page for that. And this is where you have all of the different species that they have available at the time in thin dimensional lumber. And then down here it is alphabetical, and then it lists it by thicknesses, dimensions, half inch, quarter inch,
That's better.
eighth of an inch. But up here at the top, these are the boxes that I showed in that video. They just started doing this. You get, I think it's 5 pieces. Yeah, 5 pieces in each box. And it tells you here what your sizes are and then what species are in those boxes. If you have a way, if you
Whatever.
Found it.
the 5-star backyards, yellow. If you have a way to process your own wood, getting the thicker material is the better deal. But if you don't have a way, if you don't have a bandsaw or a planer that you can process your wood with, when you get this stuff,
Suppression
if you
is
go
all the
with
way up now.
the 1/8 of an inch or the 3/8 inch material, it's precision. It's you don't have to process it. It's ready to go. And they're unlike some of the stuff I get, like my premium Baltic birch. They say it's 3 millimeters, about 2.7, 2.6, 2.8. Some of it's 3.1. It fluctuates. If their stuff, if they tell you it's an 1/8 of an inch, it's an 1/8 of an inch.
Turning
Their
gain
website
down
tells you
to
it might be plus or minus, so they have their disclaimer on there, but just in
minus
case.
1030.
But unless it's the last board that might have been processed, and they usually, if it gets too much of a variant, they don't include it in that. It goes into their second. But if they tell you it's an 1/8 of an inch, it's 1/8 of an inch. They tell you it's 3/8, it's 3/8. But here, these boxes, they have available in half inch, quarter inch, 1/8 of an inch, 3/4 of an inch, and 3/8 of an inch. And here are the different species that are in these boxes. And it tells you the prices for the box, which is 5 pieces. So here you got 5 pieces, $80. 80 divided by 5, you're getting it for about $16 a piece. And that's 3 inches by 24 inches. And these, what I use these, the 3 by 24s for, inlays. A 3-inch board is not fit for much.
Noise suppression.
You and use that, doesn't matter if it's, because most of the time you're doing lines, words, text, and you can get all that you want to out of a 3-inch or 24-inch piece. But if you click on one of these and you add it to the cart, in fact, there's an 1/8 inch at $60-some. You add it to your cart, view your cart,
way down.
and then go to checkout.
All the way up.
It's $63.71. and to get a shipping, you put in your information, calculate shipping. Free shipping. $63.71. Free shipping, but if you want it expedited, it's $35. But there's $63.71 for 5 pieces of wood. $63.71. $63.71 divided by 5. It's $12 a piece. And if you look at those species, and you go over to the Rocker store, and you look at Rocker's price for that exact same 3 by 24 in that same species, it's going to be $25 to $30, $35 a piece. And so when they say they're wholesale, they are truly wholesale, and you'll find that a lot of their stuff comes with free shipping. So there's where you find the boxes. And Carl had mentioned that he couldn't find. I actually didn't understand if he couldn't find box deals or if he couldn't find the project packs. So, if we go to the products, the 10-dimensional lumber, that's the page you land on. 10-dimensional lumber sold by the piece, and then here in bold letters, project packs are 10 square feet of the same or one thickness and range from 3 to 10 inches wide, 18 to 46 inches long, and in a variety of species. They include free shipping. So their project packs, let's see here.
Ew. That was nasty.
For the life of me now, I've done this before, and now that I'm doing this live, I'm having a problem remembering where the project packs are at. And but also they include free shipping, and they also offer a 15% discount if you purchase 2 of the same project pack. So you may actually have to call them. I don't think you do. I just can't remember where the project packs are at right now because I did not refresh my memory before going live like I've done. But they're really, really helpful. If you pick up the phone, you might actually get Rocky on the phone, who's the owner, or Priya, his daughter. Any of those folks there are really helpful, and they're more than happy to help you out, pack it up, and get it out pretty darn quick. The YouTube comments, and all the time we're going to wait for everybody to get here. And I'm going to scroll through here now. We've got a good number on hand. Look for any comments or questions regarding what we've already talked about, and then we're going to look at this, and I'm going to show you. Unlock that. Yeah, it's pretty. I got the speed on it and a smooth bottom. All right, so all right. Today we got a lot of folks. I'm not going to call out everybody. Appreciate everybody showing up and just looking for any questions and comments.
Mike,
Question mark: when can we plan a field trip to West Bend?
Where the fuck is Mike Auxiliary? Is it on the computer?
Tuesdays and Thursdays, I try to do videos here, and if I have my way, I'm actually recording on Monday. Haven't finished and uploaded for Tuesday. But my schedule's pretty flexible, except for Saturdays. Saturdays, I got to be here live. So you can this way. In fact,
I like the camera.
One of the viewers contacted me this week, so he's going to be down here in North Carolina, and we're going to meet up. We're probably going to meet up. I don't know if we're going to make it up to West Bend, but yeah, I'm happy to meet up with you, and also talk about some of the headaches of some of these hardwoods. They're beautiful. Some of them can be really problematic. I enjoyed the live stream from West Bend, despite the poor streaming quality. Yeah, it was terrible. My hardwood supplier has all the varieties, but not the project packs. Yeah, and the way, the reason that they've got all these project packs, a lot of them are like the length of this. It's probably Yeah, so it's only 19 inches, and most of the shortest board they'll sell typically is 24 inches. So this was an end cut, and it wasn't long enough to process into 24 inches. That's a beautiful piece of wood. So they'll grab these end pieces like this and just strap them up and then sell them off as project packs. Places like Rockler and other box stores, they're not processing their own wood. They're buying it from Western. So it's hard for them to come up with pieces like this, or not hard, it's impossible for them to come up with pieces like this because they're not a processor. So I don't know if your wholesaler will have the ability to do something like that. Now, they might could buy the project packs from West End and then turn around and sell them to you, but why would you do that? Just get them from West End because it's free freight anyway. Chris says one reason for nodes in a group is if you want to check start points are close, probably only useful in complex jobs. Yeah. Ricky H says he went to West Penn this morning to get some wood and saw Haley to check out. Glad you were able to get up there. I don't quite understand this question. Kind of odd. Does wood have rabies or something? Oh, you're talking about... No, actually, if you're talking about the restrictions on not being able to import some of the stuff. I can see that, they don't want to bring in live trees because some stuff they say is an invasive species, like bamboo. Bamboo's terrible. Kudzu's terrible. And if you're bringing in live trees, I can see that being a problem. But there are some hardwoods that have health issues. There are some of the wood that when you cut it and you produce the dust, people have really bad allergies to them. They're very, very allergic to them and can have bad reactions to them. I don't know, maybe some of the governments feel like they need to be, watching out for you to make sure you don't get any itches because the wood's itchy, scratchy. I don't know. Yeah, and then Chris points out, no, but they need to be heat treated to certain standards to get all the bugs dead, and those standards vary from country to country. So yeah, I guess you could bring in a critter or two if you're not really lucky. Well, thank you, Moondog. Can I ask a question? Sometimes I try to join two shapes together using the Boolean tool, and the tools to do it are grayed out and won't let me. Any idea why? Sorry, it's off the subject. Well, if you have two shapes and you've got them selected and the Boolean tools are not an option to use, the first thing that comes to mind is they're not closed shapes.
Is it snowing yet, Jamie?
Sign and drive. Current Autoport GMC lessees can get this ultra low mileage lease on this all-wheel drive terrain SLE for around $359 per month. Puts your into exciting. Sign and drive one home today.
If they're not closed shapes, if it's two designs that maybe you imported in, and or you've done some editing to them, and if they're open shapes, you cannot use Boolean tools as an open shape. So first thing you would want to do is it is off topic, but we're going to answer this, Moondog, because you're a long-time viewer, and I appreciate your donation today, and this just takes a second. And this is how we all learn. Somebody else probably had this exact same problem and was going, and they forgot to ask, or didn't ask. So if we come over here and go to Lightburn, didn't want to go to cut that out. All right. If I come and I hit the letter B for break, and I'm going to break this one as well. I don't think that one broke. There we go. So now those are broken. So I don't have my tools are grayed out. And grab this one and I move it to where it's overlapping, like so, and still select them. My Boolean tools are grayed out. I don't have an option to use the Boolean tools. The nodes are touching each other, but because I've broken them apart, they're no longer closed shapes. So the way you can tell is it a closed shape or not, is you select that piece and then go to edit. If the option to close path is available to you, then it's not a closed path. So you can use that closed path, and then you can go right back to it and see, did that work? Edit. Closed path is now gray. So that closed that path. Closed path does not always work, depending on how close the nodes are. You can also select that object, right click. Well, let's convert the path. It won't let me do it there, so select it, go up to edit, and close path is an option, so I close path, and now select those two, and there are my Boolean tools. I can now use my Boolean tools. Moondog, that's usually the most common reason that you have two objects and you can't use Boolean because they're not closed shapes. So right click it or select it, go up to edit, and look and see if it's a closed path is an option. If it is, then it is not a closed path, and that's what you got to overcome. Another thing you can try to do is select the two pieces that you're trying to use the Boolean shapes on. It won't let you use the Boolean shapes. Do a 0 offset of those two shapes and delete the original shapes. And when you do, you'll have to create the two offsets, but it'll create them as a group. If you have, I think it just does on Mac. So ungroup them, select them again, and then you can probably use your Boolean shape or your Boolean shape. So those are the two most common fixes. They were open shapes, and you can close the path or do a 0 offset, delete the original option. So once again, thank you for your donation. Question mark, does anyone know of a 3mm cardboard supplier in the UK? I wish I did, Mia. I'd love to get over there and get familiar with a lot of things over there.
Yes.
Aren't they the first few listed? No, those are the box deals. The box deals are 5 different species, and they are set to the dimensions that were listed there in the box deals. The project packs are 10 square feet of one given species. You can tell you say, I want a box of a project pack of hard maple, and you're going to get 10 square feet of hard maple. But that hard maple I just showed you, that was 3/4 of an inch thick. I got 10 square feet of that. Those were 19-inch pieces. But in that pack, in addition to pieces that were 19 inches long and just under 10 inches wide, I've got pieces that are, close to 5 inches wide, about the same length. They're less than 24 inches, still 3/4 of an inch thick. And then I've got some that are 3 inches, because this would have been they would have been processing this down to 3 by 24s. But this is an end cut piece that's not quite 24 inches, so it's 3/4 inch, probably up 19 and 3 inches wide. So you get in the project pack, you get 10 square feet of varying dimensions of one species. So those box deals are 5 different species with very specific sizes. All right. Well, you didn't have to do that, but thank you again. All right. So I'm going to put a bunch of asterisks down here. I got to the bottom. All right. Now, let's talk about the chest. All right. So This was actually my first piece. Sometimes I'm pulling myself. Actually, I'm pulling myself back here. Sometimes I think too much of my ability. Should not have done it. But this was going to be a really beautiful box. Because I made it out of cherry, solid hardwood cherry. But I did not do a lot of things that I should have done. In fact, I'm curious. I'm going to see if any of you guys can recall what I've taught in the past, and can you tell me where I screwed up? Let's see here. Open. Nope, that won't work. If I do this will work. Yes, going to hurt. Come on. Waiting for DaVinci to load. Here we go. Open. Done. New project. Create. And here. File. Import. I'm really curious if anybody is going to be able to tell me what I did wrong. Come down here. Alright, so I've got my cherry on the laser bed, and I'm going to be cutting out a box. And let's see here. Yeah, there we go. Alright. Alright, so you're seeing that, and I'll play. Okay, Jeff says he found the project packs. It just had to keep loading more, and project packs probably down toward the bottom. Jonathan's guessing that you didn't run it first. And no, that's not it, but Steve's got it. Steve says I did not rotate. Elaborate, Chris. I did not rotate what? Tell these guys and gals what I screwed up. So we're moving on down here. There it's cutting out the slots for the bottom. And there you go. File needs to be rotated 45 degrees. All right, give Steve a cardboard cookie. Ding, ding, ding. John Thompson got it. You didn't rotate 45 degrees. Huh. All right. So I'm the one that determined, in order to have a perfectly uniform curve when you're cutting out a box, if you rotate the design 45 degrees so that your cuts are being done on a diagonal, and because the diode laser has a rectangular spot size, whenever it's now being cut on a 45 degree angle, that spot size is going to be uniform. It's going to have to be essentially a perfect circle as it's cut. I had my curve set correctly, but because I did not rotate the design and rotate the material, I did not have the perfect curve. See the gap? It did not want to go together because the Y and the X curve didn't work. So I ruined a beautiful piece of cherry because I didn't do what I told y'all to do. So I'm constantly screwing up. Constantly screwing up. So, but I continued on after I realized what I did. So just because once you're committed, what else can you learn from that? There's no sense in just chunking it. So what else I learned from that was the height of the box wasn't quite tall enough. Because I made a box, and then I'm going to create a lid on it. And if I'm going to create a lid on it, there wasn't a good place to cut this from an assembly standpoint to keep the lid structural from being compromised and to keep the bottom on it and keep the structural integrity intact. So I needed to make it taller. So I learned more. Learned more several things, but I could have done that with some cheap wood instead of the cherry wood. So I stopped and started over with the new design and did it with the Baltic birch plywood.
Yep.
Still could have had some cheaper material here. This would have been great basswood for knocking up. But here, it's a solid box, and then use my table saw to cut the top off of it and create a box top. And Mark saying smaller slots and tabs would also help. Yeah, but I'm going to show you another trick that makes the slots and tabs size not irrelevant, but by making them larger like this, and this trick that I'm going to show you is really, really cool. Chicago Dog says, not a screw up, it's an example to show us what not to do. Yeah, and Chris says, failures of prototypes. Yeah, these were all prototypes, and actually, I consider this piece actually to be still just a prototype, because there's things that I've learned on this that I will share with you too on this particular hardware. So that was the second one, and then I went back into Engraving and made some more, because here, if you look at the size of the slot where I had to cut the top off, so it got a lot narrower because of the curve of the saw blade. I didn't like that. So when I designed this box, I designed it in Engraving, and I talked about that in several videos in the past. But come back here, go Gravini. So Gravini.cz, and then they have an English version /en/laser.com. You search for Gravini, Gravini. You'll find it with the English translation if you want English, but they also have it in multiple languages. But I'm working with a piece of wood from my project packs, and so I start with my wood first, not my design first. Start with my wood first, because this is going to tell me, okay, this is, you can only make it this wide. None of your parts can be any wider than this part. So I'm like, okay, so how big is this? What's the widest that I can make this? This piece of this project is a little over 7¼ inches. So now that I knew that, I used that to make it the maximum width of my box. So, and they work in metric, not in inches. And for those of you who are watching over in European countries, you guys are in metric already, so it's no big deal. But for you folks here in the U.S. that are stuck on using inches, it's a real simple conversion. And how many quarters are in a dollar? 4 quarters in a dollar. So, and a quarter is 25, right? So 25 times 4 equals $1. Well, instead of 25 times 4 equals $1, you say 25.4 equals 1 inch. 25.4 millimeters equals 1 inch. 25.4, 24 times 4 equals $1. 25.4 equals 1 inch. 25.4 millimeters makes an inch. So, since you're working with Gravini in the metric system, now you know how many inches or how many millimeters are in an inch, 25.4. And you can make this up to 7 inches wide, because it's about 7 1/4. So if you take your calculator and you say 25.4 times 7, you can go up to 177.8 millimeters. And I went with 160 on my max width on this. Now,
in the wrong part.
I've also talked about in the past the golden ratio. I learned that from a friend who educated me on everywhere. It's in nature, but it's used in architecture. It's used in making furniture. And I think it's a factor of 1.67, 1.68, somewhere in there. It's also how I'm determining what I'm going to mark my products up. I'm looking for a retail price. If I've got $40 in something, I'm 40 times 1.67. I didn't know it at the time, but that's close to the golden ratio, and that's also how you get your perfect retail price, as far as I'm concerned. But if I've got a known width, it's going to be 160 millimeters wide. I want to use the golden ratio to help keep things looking as aesthetically pleasing as possible. Then I'm going to use factors of 1.67 or as close to that as possible to determine my other dimensions, my depth and my height. I already know my width.
As warm weather blooms, rely on the Rhino to keep your home cool. With 24/7 expert heating and cooling, plumbing and drains, and electrical services, backed by multiple guarantees and warranties, Reimer keeps Buffalo homes running right. Whether it's a busted AC, leaking clogged or burst pipes, or ensuring reliable power through a generator, get ahead of the Buffalo heat by getting Reimer on the line. Call 716-351-4645. I'm going to enjoy Betty's delivered fresh dinner. Oh.
But I went with 160, 80, and 130 for my height, width, and depth. I used 3 millimeters for my thickness. I used 11 millimeters on my finger width, and then imported that into Lightroom. In fact, I'm going to go ahead and we'll download that again because I've modified it so much. And I need to bring these to my desktop. And it's 5019. New. And let's see here. Here, there we go. Import. I'm not going to worry about the insert. 5310, in, and open. So there is the import from Gravini. I'm going to get rid of the labels. Actually, it's all group, so it's ungroup it all. Select all of the blue, get rid of it. All right, the bottom and the top are identical. 2 sides are identical, and the other 2 sides are identical. But I'm going to get rid of these 2. I'm going to rotate that one, put those together. All right. So there is the front and the side of my box. But I'm gonna be cutting this, and I want to make my tab. Not only do I want to account for the saw blade so that it doesn't get too weak here, but I also want to keep that gap as uniform as possible in size, just so from a distance, it doesn't look out of whack. So here, I've got two pieces, but they're not grouped. And since they're not grouped, I can select both pieces and show my nodes. Yeah, I can. What's going on here, Pickle? What's the deal, Pickle? Nodes. Alright, so I'm not seeing nodes. Why am I not seeing nodes? Edit. No. It is a closed path, so that wasn't the problem. Alright, so I'm gonna do a zero offset.
I don't know.
Zero
I made a
offset.
keychain.
Delete the original.
I learned how to round the corners.
Nodes, and there are my nodes. Now, I don't know why I couldn't see the nodes to begin with, but that's why instead of spending a whole lot of time trying to figure out, it wasn't an open path. It showed that the closing path was not an option. But instead of spending too much time and trouble finding out what the problem is, don't look for it. Just do a zero offset, and it usually fixes the problem. Make sure you delete the original. So come back over here, and select this one, and when you're in node editing, your selector tool doesn't work, but if you click right on it, you can see it. But I can't see any nodes. But look there. Even though that's just one object, nothing else is selected, there is the option to ungroup up here. So if I zoom in tight on that and say ungroup,
rounded.
now you can see the nodes. Now, there wasn't the one object there, so what was it grouped to? I don't know, but I'm going to move that down, try and select anything else. There's nothing else there. Select that, bring it up here, and let's see now, see if it's still a closed shape. Edit. Yeah, it's still a closed path.
Hold down.
All right. So align these to each other. They're aligned to the top. Now I'm going to show my nodes. And I'm going to take and I want to have my saw blade come right here through the middle of this slot. My saw blade is going to pass right through there.
Okay.
And the kerf of my saw blade is 3 millimeters. So if I go to my settings and tell my arrow movement to be 3 millimeters, say OK. Yeah. And now just use my arrow to move up one time. That just moved all of those up 3 millimeters. Now I can Control D, duplicate those. Now I've got my two left sides, my front and my back. And that one area, that one slot, that one tab is 3 millimeters larger, so that when I assemble it, I can use my saw to cut right down through there to cut that box top off, and now everything will be back to symmetrical. All right, so let's look here. Any questions, comments, others? Yeah, Mark, it showed that they were grouped, but there was nothing there. That was really crazy. But doing a zero offset, that's without even looking for the problem. Zero offset, delete the original, and it solved this issue. I did see it was grouped after the step, and you seen it too, ungrouped, but there was nothing grouped. There weren't multiple items there. That's something screwy with your Gravini, the way that put those together. I don't know. Could you use the laser to cut the box by standing it up on its edge? If you've got the clearance for it. You couldn't do it with the rollie without taking the bottom out of it, and then I still don't think you'd have the clearance because she's 7+ inches. I'm on my feet, 320 feet. I don't know. I don't know if you could or not. They use, and most people who make boxes this way, they just use your table saw and the fence. So once you've got the assembled piece, you just set your table saw up and run it down, flip it over, run it down, flip it over, run it down, flip it over, run it down, and box like that. Ed says instead of using softwood, you have drawn a line. Ed, yes, you probably could have done that, created that line.
Yeah, see, we don't need
design, and went ahead and cut it right
sharp
in.
corners.
Problem with that is whenever you're doing your finished work, I actually finished all of my edges and everything before I cut my box. And it's just easier to work with glued up as a solid box instead of having just this lid that you're trying to work with, and then the bottom you're trying to work with. Yeah. Guys, there's never one way to do something. In light burn or with woodworking, there are always multiple ways to attack it. I'm just showing you what I did and what I found to be the easiest way for kind of this grain function. There's always multiple ways you can do it. And like I said, just for the ease and convenience. And another thing that I learned working with this zebra wood is I love the look of this. In fact, this isn't even the finished finish that I've done. I haven't sanded this and applied any additional coats yet. If you can see this in person, it's still full of hips and valleys and pits because the wood has got all that in it. So this still requires a lot of sanding and some more applications to get it looking like it's acrylic cover or epoxy cover. And it's just easier to work with if you're working with a solid cube, a solid box. But this zebra wood does not burn or cut well at all. It does, the lighter wood, I guess more like the pulp wood and the dark grains, the pulp wood cuts really, really easy, and then the grains don't want to cut at all. To cut this square out, I think I did 4 passes on a 30-watt diode at 380 millimeters a second, or a minute, 380 millimeters a minute. And the edges of it are very porous, and on the end grain, where you have you can see the end grain, it's like a roller coaster when you look at it. It's terrible. In fact, you can see there where it's burnt down the edges. The pulp wood will actually just continue to burn. It does not cut with precision, and that's the characteristic of the wood. And that's what I was going to say. When you're working with the hardwoods and some of these exotics, you have to do a lot of testing and get really familiar with the wood to know what it's going to do with your laser when you do what you do with your laser, so you can have your best outcome. And what I learned with this project, and like I say, this is still just a prototype, I wanted to sand away all of the burnt edges, but some of the edges, because of the way this wood cuts, it was impossible to get it out. In fact, I've tried here to get it all done on the backside, so much so that I almost sanded the fingers completely away, and that was a fitment issue. I was able to fix it, but instead of what I will do on the next one, using zebra wood, if it's 3 millimeter material, then I'm going to set my slots and tabs to 4 millimeters, so that the slots or the tabs are going to be proud. Plenty of room to go in, and the tabs are going to be really proud. And then I can probably just take them to a router and then just and be done with it. And I route and away all of the burnt edges and have a much better precision fit because I'm a millimeter even deeper away from those burnt uneven edges, so I can prevent points that look like that. So if you and one of my friends, I think he called that a pillow top design, where you round over the top edges, and that's what I was going for on all of the sides, all of the joints, and I did that hand sanding. But make those fingers and those tabs and slots larger than the material. Then you can use mechanical water and hopefully make it fit. And I will do that again, and then show you what that looks like in the upcoming video. Hey, maybe I said talking about doing that, and here's the result. So I'll show you what happens when I do that. Mark says sometimes preventing will generate files, but all the lines segments separate, so you end up with a bunch of single lines. Kind of bizarre. I haven't encountered that yet, but this wasn't what that was. So yeah, I'm guessing sometimes you can get some different outcomes. But the one big takeaway from all of this is a zero offset will usually fix any of those problems. And yeah, Chris is saying about a router. Yeah, I didn't go with a router because this was only 3 millimeters to begin with, and with the way these edges burnt, I knew that if I was to try and do a router, it might take away too much material and do like this did in the back corner here, the back.
How was your day, Jamie?
So I opted to hand sand it. I do have a DA, and I did use the DA to do some of the heavy lifting, but to get it really nice to finish it off, I just did it by hand. Mark says, yeah, great idea on leaving the tabs proud and flush trimming and sanding end grains for just so many issues. Yep. And especially, and that the end grains are the ones that were the most problematic on this, because end grains are with any of your woods are going to be more problematic. But with the way that this material cut, the end grains are the ones. It's like here, when going across the grain, it did give a cleaner cut, but the edge grains, it is really, and you can't really see it. That's my camera doesn't focus that way. But the end grains are terrible. Just use 1/4-inch Baltic birch and laser engrave your own zebra wood pattern. Yeah, but then you don't. You with it being the Baltic birch plywood, you're not going to be able to get those nice fingers like that. You'll see the flies, which would be different. Wouldn't be terrible, but just be a different look. All right. So I showed you the trick. You make your box. Where you're going to put your top. Stretch that tab and slot by the size of the perk on your fucking water. Salt, table salt. And then when you go put it together, all those fingers and tabs are going to line up nice and even. For the inside, I've got nice clean inside, but yet the bottom, I've got the slots and tabs for the feet to pop into. How did I get it nice and pretty?
Yes, I drained it first.
Simple insert. There's your slots and tabs. And now this could work in multiple ways.
Wasn't anything
You
in
could
it.
actually take and put a ring inside the outermost perimeter that was 3 millimeters thick,
My day was
so that when you put this in there, it would
normal as
sit on
usual.
that outer frame. So you'd have false
Nothing
bottom.
interesting.
Then you could take and actually hide stuff
What I'm doing
inside
here.
the box that would be underneath that false bottom. So people, if they were actually looking to steal your stuff, they open it up. Oh, it's just costume jewelry. Well, they didn't know that you got a false bottom, and that's where all your millions of dollars are. Let's see here. And another thing that I would, well, because of the way this burns, it'd be a little bit more difficult. But on some of my boxes, when I'm going to be working with hardware, I have the hardware in advance, and I know that this is where I'm going to put two hinges and put the handles here. I will actually use the laser to pre-drill. I'll measure where my holes need to be, the distances and all that, and then I can use the laser to pre-drill for my wood screws. It makes it a whole lot easier when it comes time to put everything together. Mark says, yeah, he had a felt pad on the bottom to hide slots. And I thought about doing, instead of felt, because this is such a, potentially was going to be such a pretty box, I was going to do a satin lining. I got lots of satin here. I was going to do a satin lining with that. And then flocking is another option. Because, you know, a lot of people just love to flock. And they like the way the flocking looks and feels. So flocking is always an option. A felt bottom, and I've got some black felt here that I can just cut out and self-adhesive felt, fill a box, stick it in the bottom. But I just like the wood. I like the way it looks. So I didn't want to cover any of that up. I didn't want to hide any of it. I wanted to accentuate it. All right. Creating slots and tabs.
More adjustability in use than the leading competitors with great mass control and speed, Jonathan.
Imagine checking your own heart with medical precision from anywhere. Introducing KardioMobile Sig Belt, the FDA-cleared personal EKG that provides more in-depth heart data than any smartwatch. Get yours today at Kardia.com or Amazon.
So this is the two sides. These are the top and the bottom. And I went with the option of bringing the feet way inside so that whenever this is sitting on top of your desktop or your dresser or whatever, the legs are far enough in that you don't really even see them, and it kind of gives the illusion of it floating, or you lift it off the top of your nightstand, desktop, or whatever. So this is 160 by 130. So I created a toolpath that was going to be 160 by 130.
There's always
Put that on the toolpath, and then I held my control button and just crank
it's
that
not outside, it's inside. It's the new one. It's because I didn't
until I got
fucking
okay, that looks pretty good, and I centered up.
I fucking
And that's
moisture
where I put my slots
on
and tabs.
the reel.
Now, I think they were 11 millimeters.
I didn't hook up the reel. I just hooked up straight to it.
Yep. So 11 by 3 would be the size of my slot.
I fucked up. I should have went through the reel.
And another thing that from prototype 1 to prototype 2, and something I always forget to do, is to take into consideration the two that have the slots sticking out on the end, taking that into consideration as being part of the overall length of that leg. So I end up making the first ones, I always end up making those wrong too. And I have to go back and fix it. Let's see here. Do array columns. Oh yeah, that should stop that. Reverse direction. Do 11 millimeter. There we go. Okay. Those are grouped. Align it to the top and to the center. Control D, duplicate those, and align them to the bottom. Cut that. And then do the same thing on the side over here. And that would be the position for using my legs. And then for the legs, for the actual legs themselves, I did them, I think, at about 15 millimeters tall. And to give them some contour and some shape, 97.65. Select that and then go into, I got to convert it to a path because it's a rectangle, convert to a path, show my nodes, then come in here and put a node in the middle, and then middle again, and then middle again, and then middle and middle there. Now I can delete this one, and delete this one, hover over this one and hit the letter S for smooth. And now I'm going to go back to my settings and change my arrow movement to 1 millimeter. Hit OK. Select that one node and move up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then I would put my slot and tab on the end of this, whichever it's going to be, a slot and tab. And then do the same thing for the height and width of that. And then I've got a nice little leg that's got some contour, some shape to it. Hopefully you're not going to be seeing them much anyway, because the way we're going to be inset, they're going to be out of sight when they're sitting on top of the nightstand, dresser, whatever. All right. Any questions, comments? Mark says his last attempt in the flocking was a flocking disaster. Legs far enough in so a pin can roll under. There you go, and be out of sight. You're go. I just had it. Wow, what a rainstorm just go through. Maybe at your house, I heard a crack of thunder, but I never had a rain come through. So that was a really small cell. So for y'all that don't know, I'm here and Jack's here. We're real close together. But no, I didn't have any rainfall. I heard the thunder, and my dog moved over here. She's within 2 feet of me because she don't like thunder, but no rain. Craig says, why wouldn't you want to make them full length so that it doesn't wobble? It's not going to wobble. And you could, if you want to see them, you could, but I didn't want to see them. I wanted it when it's sitting on the desk to be, and you're standing above it and looking down on it, you don't see those legs. All you see is the box kind of hovering on top of your dresser. And this is really small, and if you've made them right and you've installed them right, it's not going to wobble. It ain't going anywhere. No, Sparky, you didn't miss a thing. We're just getting started. And in fact, not only are we just getting started, we're wrapping this up. So we're an hour 18 in. Anybody got any questions or comments? Like Moondog had one that he said, hey man, sorry, this is off topic. But hey, it's a simple, easy answer. And I even had to use what I suggested to him in this demonstration. Let's see. Start over like last week. Yeah, okay, we're going to start all over the way. No, I'm tired and I'm going up. go get some rest. Hey, hello, I want to know. Let's see. Okay. I know you're waiting for Mimage. I have heard of Moto. It's open source and nothing to download. It does laser CNC. I have not heard of Moto. And honestly, Brandon, I was hoping that Millmage was going to be a lot like Lightburn, so that my learning curve would be reduced greatly. But because they're such different animals, the CNC and the laser, and you're working with now another axis, not with X and Y, but also Z, I think there's going to be a lot more differences to Millmage and Lightburn than I was originally hoping for. So, and they keep putting it off, keep putting it off, and keep putting it off. And for them to be putting it off as much as they are, I can't help but think that they're probably still struggling with getting as many bugs out of it as they'd like before they even release it to the general public. I've seen Millmage, and the learning curve is going to be greater than I thought, than I had hoped. So I've also, what's the other one that you guys like, the Fusion 360 for CNC? So I think I may end up biting the bullet. If I'm going to have a steep learning curve, I may go that route. Questions, comments. New end of year now, they keep adding stuff to be tested. Oh, yeah. So they're putting it all the way out to the end of this year. It was going to be the end of first quarter. Now they're putting it out at the end of the year. They have, and I've got, and I've looked at it and played with it. I don't have the most recent version, but I've played with a few different ones. I've played with Easel. I've played with a couple of others, and it's a whole. I was intimidated like no one's business by Lightburn when I first started this. My first tool was the X tool, which I hate saying, but and at that time they didn't even have the what is it called now, the creative space or whatever, the XCS. They didn't have that then. They had some simple program, and I'm like, okay, well this is too limited. You couldn't do anything with it besides bring in a star or a square, or it was so handicapped by it. And everybody that I looked at the industry standard was like that. So I sucked it up and bit the bullet and started the YouTube channel going, hey, I have no idea what I'm doing. Do not try to duplicate, emulate, simulate in any way anything that I'm doing. I am not responsible for any lost digits or fingers, eyes, toes. Try this at your own risk. I have no idea what I'm doing. And slowly progressed to where I got a pretty good handle on it. And I'm encouraging you to do what I'm doing and try these things out. They work well for me. But the programs that I've worked with, the CNC, the three ones that were out there, they put me in mind of the very first software that Xtool came out with that handicapped you so bad that you weren't able to be creative with it. So that's why I have to probably bite the bullet and start paying for some software. And I think someone said there is a free kind of version of Fusion 360 out there, but I have not gone down the path to start wrapping my brain around that yet. Chris says, I think that a lot of people are expecting to make the finished product. It will basically be 2D and 2.5D to start with. Yeah, it's they have a working version, and a lot of stuff they had up at LBX. They had a lot of stuff there that was all cut out using Millmage, and they were proud of it and showing off all the stuff they were doing. So it has some capabilities, but not what I was hoping for it to be. And Jack says, yeah, he loves Fusion. He uses it. But I think I've downloaded the free version. I just haven't played with it with the actual CNC yet. And I looked at VCarve, but isn't VCarve a bit expensive? And some, and I know a lot of them out there. Some of them will have free versions that are slightly handicapped, or you don't get all the good stuff until you pay the $25, $30 a month. Some of them are hundreds of dollars a month. He ain't doing all that. All right. Yeah, Jack says VCarve is very pricey. He has it too. Yeah. And guys, I don't. In fact, I was thinking about this before I went live. What's the saying about those who can't teach, or coach? So I'm not. I'm not, and I can't work for it. I don't want to. I don't want to produce products, set up and go to process.
I don't know how you get delayed.
People. I love talking to all 75 of you guys that are here now and chatting and helping them and show you things. But I wouldn't want to see 20 of you at the same time at my craft group. I don't want to deal with people in public anymore. I did that my whole life. I don't want to do it anymore. So while I will continue to develop this box and work with cherry and zebrawood and walnuts and all kinds of different, and make some really nice elaborate boxes. Problem is, in today's world, you can go buy a box that looks something kind of like that at the Dollar Tree for $5. Well, with the zebrawood and the hardware and the time and developing the process and sanding, even if I use the machine, you're talking about $80, $100 box. I enjoy doing it, so I'll make one or two and then show you what I do to how I do it. And if you want to start making them and go out and selling them, like, great, more power to you. But I don't want to do that anymore, and so I will teach. All right. So Sharon's bailing. Thank you for coming, Sharon. Appreciate you. Jack says I'm using Blender. It's free. I can't do Aspire yet. All right, guys. It's an hour 30 in here. We're going to say our salutes and salutations. Just for grins and giggles. I haven't incorporated this into an intro yet, but I'm thinking about maybe switching up my intro and having some of my projects and some do a slideshow of all the different fun things that I've created and incorporate it with my theme song. But here we go. We gotta have a roll, you guys.
little big for a fucking.
Oh, didn't mean for it to lose. I gotta stop that. Sorry about that. Didn't want to go over. Steve asked a question before we get out of here. Is there a source to go to that will give me lasers, engraving, and cutting? And no, not that I'm aware of. Not any experience. And like I love the look of the zebra wood, all of those exotic grains, but it does not engrave well at all. In fact, where did I put it? Yes, here we go. This is ash, and I'm going to be doing an inlay, and I'm probably not going to be using ash now. And this I've already ran through the planer, so over half of it's been planed away. And I don't know how well you can see this, but those grains in that ash, how high those are, how raised up that is, it did not burn evenly at all. And that's the grain and the wood that you wouldn't have that kind of result with the plywood, but you do with hardwood. And some are worse than others. And this, I was able to burn it away and deep enough that I can still. In fact, there's a practice inlay there with the dew. And that's why I put my inlays in, and also just testing the planer.
Did you pick her up yet? What's going on?
But
where is she?
Trying to do that with the zebra wood, and you're trying to not even doing inlays. You're just going to grade it. You get this. You get these hips and valleys with those exotic grains. The more pronounced and darker and grain, the heavier the grains you got, typically the less friendly it is for engraving or creating pockets. And that's why this is going to do really, really well, because that's the maple, and you can't really see hardly any grain in that at all. So that's going to be really good for receiving pockets for the minimum. But there's no chart or anything that I've seen that hey, this is the best way to go. I just get what I like and start playing with it and test. And your lasers are going to give you different results. 10 watts, 20 watts, 30 watts, 40 watts, 70 watts. If you got 70 watts out there. Some wood just does not want to engrave. Wingate. Don't want to cut it, don't want to engrave. You can get some stuff that's just way hard. Greg says, wait, did you inlay it and then run it through a planer? I sure did. Just wanted to see what it would do. And this one, because, and this was a glue issue. If I would have waited and not been so impatient, it would have worked flawlessly. But because I only waited 45 minutes instead of 24 hours, it tore out a little bit.
Oh, you got your headphones on?
And it just grabbed it and pulled it out because
tell her to hook her Bluetooth up to your phone too.
Let it longer.
Her
waited 24 hours.
hearing aid.
And no, I'm not actually advertising for Tony. I'm actually making this for him.
Hi, Robin!
A sign down there, the neon sign in there.
I don't know why you came back.
I'm just looking at, and people ask me where inspirations come from, where I get the ideas. I've seen that neon sign. Man, that would look cool.
Don't know why you fucking came back.
And you know, but the Columbus would like that too. So I figured, well, it'll be great info. I'll be able to create a video, show how to do it, how the inlays work, And then I'll just say, here you go, Merry Christmas. Who knows? Maybe I'll get a free milkshake or two. All right. We're an hour and 35 in. We've done our outro solo. We're out of here. Guys, thank you for hanging out with me. If you're not subscribed to the channel, hit the subscription button. Like and share the videos. In fact, we're just curious. If we get 9,000 yet, we're knocking all over the door of 9,000. I want to be at 10,000 subscribers before the second anniversary. That's my goal. Let's see here. Dashboard update. We're at 89.98. Let's refresh. Nope. So 2 of you who are not subscribed, go subscribe right now. Hit that subscription button. Subscribe to the channel. Let's put it over 9,000. And I've got 2 months. 2 months to hit 10,000. So guys, if you're not subscribed, subscribe to the channel. And Chicago Bob says, go gold. Yes, thank you for the patience. Thank you for your support. Thank you for your patience over the last few weeks. I've been recuperating. But thank you for your support, patience. And as always, thank you for hanging out and tuning in with us. But go subscribe and share this channel. If you're in groups, if you're in laser groups other than Hobo with Wood group on Facebook and the Rolling Automation group, if you're in Facebook groups that are I've not seen and I'm not participating in, hey, share these videos with your Facebook groups. Help me get some exposure and help me get to that 10,000 mark before the anniversary. I'm going to give you guys a free roller. Somebody's going to get a free rolling laser. I mean, least you can do is help get that subscription to 10,000 for an hour. What's that saying? You can make your own router inlay templates with your laser if you want to inlay in difficult burning wood. Now, I don't quite. I get the idea of the template. I don't quite follow you 100% there. But typically, this was the first time I've tried doing the machine.
Everything's got fucking watermarks on it.
All right. Now I'm leaving. I'm gone. You guys have enjoyed the rest of your weekend, and I will see you next week with some videos, and we'll see you next Saturday at 9 p.m. Eastern Time. For all those that are up late hanging out, thank you. And for those here in the East Coast or the U.S., thank you. Yeah, the planer. Yeah, that's the word I was looking for. It's just left. This is the first time using the planer. All right, guys. Enjoy your weekend. I'm out. Hey, everybody. What's up? Hey, Rick. I'm ready. Jeremy. Rich. Jeremy. Howdy. Everybody out there, thank you for being with us. You like my new glasses? Those are spiffy. Spiffy? Spiffy? Spiffy. Those are spiffy. Spiffy. Those are sharp. You have a pair of these. You got this in your little bag. I do. It's on the floor right over there. We just got back from the Orlando International Science Expo. Patrick and I did, and these were one of the little gifts. They got a T-shirt and a lanyard and all kinds of stuff from Neon Laser, which I think was the only laser that was giving stuff out. The laser company giving stuff out. These are really cool, though. You can see through them really well, even though it doesn't look like you can. But yeah, and as you had me try them on, they actually
function as reading glasses. They making my vision better for viewing close-up stuff.
Yeah, if you look close up, well, they have these little tiny holes in them that you look through, and that, you know, anytime you look through a type of squint in your eyes, you can read better without glasses, you know, so it's the same principle. But they're really cool. We had a good time at the show, at least I know I did. I think Patrick did.
I did, yeah.
And Nick from
we had,
with us.
Yeah, we spent a lot of time together. It was a good time.
We saw Emily, that mom with the laser, was working at the Eon booth. We saw Michael from Laser Engraving 911. Just a whole bunch of people were there, especially YouTube creators.
Yep, Chad from Engraving.
Yeah,
there. Yeah, took us over to the shop tour.
Yep, yeah. And if you guys haven't seen it yet, on my channel, I've got I think I have the factory tour already posted. Yeah, I do. I'm going to be posting. Yeah, so I'm going to be posting one video every day for like the next 10 or 11 days on my channel about the different manufacturers that we met with over there, which was quite a few. Some impressive stuff. And
yeah, I'm running way behind. I haven't got one video put together. It's been just not a good week for my move. I know.
But yeah, so
it's
a bunch of good
this probably isn't too much information. Everybody knows I have my gallbladder out, but man, this last week has just been a nightmare on my GI system, and it just is wore me down where I feel like I can't function. So hopefully that will resolve itself soon, and then I'll be back to normal, abnormal.
Me too. It took me 2 days to get over. I don't know if you can see that right there is where they went in with a scope to try and get down my leg, and that didn't work. So they went into the groin, and they gave me fentanyl, which is a really nasty drug. I'm never gonna ever get it again. But first off, it never put me to sleep. I went through like I think it was like 6 injections and 3 vials of the fentanyl, and they couldn't get me to sleep, so I was awake for the whole thing, and I could feel everything. It wasn't fun. They didn't get through my left. That was the first purpose of the surgery to begin with, was to find the blockage in my left leg. And by the way, Patrick, it didn't work. They want to do a bypass now, and I don't think I want to do that. So I'm going to try some new drug that they've got instead. But yeah, so that fentanyl really kicked my butt for about 2 days. I mean, I was like in a daze. I don't know how that drug is so popular in America with with the people that like to take illegal drugs. Doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah, and just a tiny amount can kill you. So
they gave me a lot more than
it's mind blowing. Yeah, well, what they gave me was a tiny amount, and in powder form, though, if a tiny amount on your skin is enough to shut your respiratory system down, and which you have to do. Yeah.
So anyway, that's what we've been doing. We've been away. We're back in the shop. We had to scramble for tonight. I think I started the project that I'm working on now at 6 o'clock this evening. And so I did this project in about 10 or 15 minutes, and this is a Mother's Day arrow. Let me see if I can zoom in a little more on this. Let me make this screen just a little bit bigger. So this is going to be my project for tonight, and it's going to be an arrow, and got like a little offset right here, and then there are 2 pieces to the base. So you can, hopefully you're going to be able to stand this up. And I haven't done the prototype yet, so I don't know what's going to happen with this. You guys are going to see it live. I did a little earlier. I went out and spray painted a piece of wood, red with some white flakes. And I was just telling Jeremy a minute ago, what I did was I intentionally put some white spray paint. I have several colors, like 5 or 6 different colors that when you get done spray painting, you're supposed to turn it upside down, press the button to clean the nozzle, and then clean off the nozzle. Well, I intentionally have a couple that I don't clean so that they splatter, and that's what this is. So it's red with white splatter on it. I hope it'll come out nice. I've done a few other splatters before, and they seem to look good. So that's my project tonight, and you guys are, like I said, it hasn't been prototype, and you guys are going to be the first to see it live. I'm going to drop this on the Lasermatic behind me and run the job during the live stream, and we'll see if it all works out. Real simple project. I'll explain it a little bit later. I've already made all these parts. I've made these arrows before in several different ways with 2 hearts and 3 hearts and things like that. And they're really, really simple to design. And I'll go over that a little later. Patrick, what are you doing now? Let me switch over to my right-hand screen.
What I have here will be a 4-layer plywood cut and engraved. So this is going to be basically the frame. And then this is just going to draw a line so you'll see where exactly to set the next layer. And then here, yep, and here is the next layer. And that's going to be an offset for the 3rd layer, which is here. But again, these are guidelines, so you know exactly where to set your pieces. And the reason I put the puzzle piece guidelines there, which I'll show you in a second, are to line up if you decide to use poster board or the foil back board or cardstock or anything like that. When you have 4 separate pieces, you'll be able to just set them right down and line them up. And then this is 4 different engravings that basically make the shades for the 4 puzzle pieces, and then on top is a heart with mine. And then this is the version that's for a foil or cardstock. There's a cut out so you get the 4 individual pieces. And then, let's see. I think I started on this like 3 o'clock. I think the idea came to me, and then I managed to get this done.
Oh, wait, hang on.
I did get a test engraving done.
Oh, nice.
That's it. Focus. So there you see the 4 layers, and then the 4 different patterns of the engraving.
Cool. Okay, nice.
Yeah, and I'll have this file available. I didn't get it done in time for the downloads, but if you can add it to it later, I'll put it up there.
Okay, you can add it to the LMR website. Yeah. By the way, guys, if you want to follow along, you can with Jeremy and I tonight, because these files are already up. Don't close this window. So if you open a new tab, go over to the Lasermaker's Realm, lasermakersrealm.com. And the very first blog post, the download is in there, and you can download and get the files ready on your laser and follow along with us tonight if you'd like to. Jeremy, what app are you going to use? Well, I haven't seen you in 2 weeks.
Yeah, I've been working on some stuff for the car for moms who like to have scents in the car. And these are passive diffusers for essential oils, and I have clips that go right into the vent cover there. And then obviously we have graduations coming up, so I got some for your graduates. You can pop those in there, put their little oils in there. These trees.
You put the oils in the little door. Let me see
Yeah.
that again.
Yep, you just drop them right down into the little openings of the books there, and as the vent blows the air past, it just passively gives your scent out in the car. My wife has
tried this on the car vent yet?
Yeah, my wife's had one in for a couple of days now. She loves it. My son's got one in his car now. He likes it.
Wow.
He actually put beard oil from Squash or whatever that stuff is he got on his, so he has his thing. The other thing that I've done is I've made class of 2024 earrings. so you can give those out as gifts as well. And these are in the files. These are in the files that you guys will get tonight. All three of these things.
All right. So if you guys want to follow along with us now, run over to lasermakersrealm.com. The very first post. There'll be a file there that you can get your free download. So okay. So let's get to before we do anything, let's briefly just run through. I'm just going to run through the comments here, and then we'll start the project. You guys can get started now if you want to. Jim Pitts was the first one here. Thanks for being here, Jim.
Nice. Congratulations, Jim.
And I'm just going to say hello to everybody. Dale Dubs, Jeff Benedict, Butterfly Museum, Chuck Forbes, Ryan Ford, Dan Ellis, Dale Dubs, Mike Doyle, Sharon Thomason, hi Sharon, Jeff Benedict, Barry Lee Bailey, Chicago Bob, who's always here, one of our channel members, Old Guy Design, Corey Career, right? Mark Bingham, Alan B, Jimmy A, John from Marksbury, Kathy W. in Wisconsin, welcome Kathy, Robert Lowe, Home Zero CNC, Kingdom Warriors Workshop and Laser Engraving, Jim Pierce Jr., Ruben Perez, V. Swan, another channel member, hi V, welcome. T. Hamilton, William Talmadge, Don Tyler, SFW, Dimitri is here. Dimitri is from Rolly Automation. He is an employee over at Rolly, and he manages the Facebook group that they have for the Lasermatic. SB is here. The H. Pop Pop Moon's just here. Hey, Pop Pop, good to see you. I sent you an email earlier. And Andy was asking about my surgery. Yeah, it didn't go okay, but they're working on another plan. Thanks for asking, Andy. Epic Engravings. Brant Dilo.
Hi, Brant.
Gary Kidman. Steve Fairs. I'm sorry if I pronounced some of this wrong. Moses is here, another channel member. Jacqueline Jr., Precision Etchworks. Jay Bate, Greg Keller, Darryl, I'm not going to try that one, Darryl D. from Greenville, Wisconsin. Moses is here, another channel member.
I said it in my head, but it ain't going to come out right, so.
Yeah, Tim Keller, Chris Dawson, Butterfly Museum, Robert O, I'm just going to say O on that one. Ellis Laser Engraving, another channel member, and another channel member, Keyman's Woodshed. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being a channel member. Steve Smith is here. Jeffrey is here. I can't pronounce Croswell? Yes. Thank you. Jim Pitt, Shop Rat, Jim the Park, Nancy Woodsign, Hi Gillette, Daniel Thomas, Fact Shack is here. Thank you for being with us, Dave. Christy Lahan, Just Me. Greg Wilson, Nature Photography. Okay, that's a new name, I think. Todd Chrisman.
They've been here for
right. Edward Borman. Tommy Nolan. Merrill Albury, which is like he made a point of saying that his name is Paul. Florida. How's it going, Paul? Fred G. Copping, Ricky Snow. Oh, I had a good friend called Ricky Snow in high school that lived in Upon, New York. Mike Doyle, Jim Pierce Jr., and Steve is also here from Power Workshop. Welcome, Steve. And there's just lots and lots of people here. To get through them would be almost impossible. So we're going to get set up now. And thank you for watching. Clayton says, first time watching us. Thanks for being here. We appreciate it. We're going to get started now. And let me change the banner down here so that you know who we are. So down on the bottom, tells you who we are. All this right there. And actually, I think I can even maybe put my names up. How's that?
Good. I don't want to forget who I am.
Yeah, I feel
Well, you know that. Thank you. So I'm going to start my project here. Everybody wish me luck because I have not prototyped this. This was a last minute 15. I was still unpacking from, I had a lot going on this week, and I was still unpacking from the ISA Expo. And when I did this file right here, it was like a 15-minute file that I have not prototyped yet. So you're going to see the prototyping live, and I'm going to assume that it's going to work because I'm going to sacrifice this piece of wood right here that I've already painted. It's still a little tacky, but I hope that it's going to be okay on the laser. So I'm going to get my laser started. I'm going to turn it on. And
I'm going dangerous. I'm trying something I never done before tonight, too.
I think my camera's lined up for you all. So I'm going to go ahead and start with basically the background or the base for this design. And then let me show you the other one too here real quick. It doesn't need to be big screen. I can make it that. Oh. This I use the foil cardstock and then cut out the 4 different pieces and then stained, well, I used the dye for the heart. You could either, if you're going to make, say you're going to make 4 of these, you could glue a piece of this foil cardstock to 4 different pieces of wood and cut out the shape and you'll have 4 different shapes, different colors. Or you can just do what I did, cut them out and then just glue them to a piece of wood.
Okay, here we go. I'm going to start mine. And, I noticed, before I start this, just in case it happens again, I noticed that this file was designed on Lightburn version 1.6, and about a week and a half ago, something I designed on version 1.6 did not hold the order of priority on the lasers, and actually did the cut first, even though it was in the right position. So hoping that that's not going to happen tonight. I was really trying to see what happens.
So for the frame, I'm just running an offset fill with a 1 millimeter offset fill.
So mine is doing the same thing. Mine's doing the same thing it did last week. So I'm going to turn off the red layer and just run the dot. Sorry. I don't know why it's doing that. It did the same thing a week ago. Maybe I should just upgrade this version to 1.6. But it's not holding my priority. And I can show you real quick. Over here, if you look at the priority list, you can see black is on top, red's underneath. So that's not.
Check your optimization settings.
No, my optimization settings are right too. Yeah. I've got ordered by priority first.
Which thing?
I have ordered by priority, ordered by group, ordered by layer. In that order. From top. So I've never had one of them before. It's only on files that I designed in 1.6 and then run them on 1.5.
We use super glue.
Yep, Gorilla thick gel. I've been using it all day today, and I love this stuff.
I just use Elmer School Glue. Dries clear, forms good bond. That's my favorite.
Well, I'm doing Kydex pieces into my wood, so it kind of helps.
Yeah.
I like this
Yeah,
industry stuff.
Patrick Steve does, okay, that's probably that one.
If I have light burn active and up,
Yeah.
then my camera focus. But here's what I like is the Bob Smith Industries Institute it on camera focus. This is the medium viscosity.
I stick with Elmer's, but I do have this Appel as well. So this is another clear drying wood glue. This is the WGL 200, and 16 ounces of this is cheaper than any other wood glue except for the Elmer's screw glue. Elmer's screw glue has never failed me yet.
Plus, you can make slime with it if you get bored.
That's right.
Work on your finger dexterity, forcefully, or just poke yourself on it.
Like we have a constant, perpetual bowl full of that stuff in the house for my girls. They're always making that stuff.
He says she likes B6000. It doesn't control the roof. Yeah, the Appel doesn't either, neither does the others. Aloha, Peter. Welcome.
Got my 2 layers, my spacer, got those in. I love these little clips, like little clamps. You just hold it right in there until it dries about 30 seconds, and I'll move on.
Guys, I'm going to think the names are correct because it kind of gets in the way of it.
Sounds good to me. I was thinking about that a second ago. So, let's see, 30 watt, I was running a line after the fill at 6,000 speed and 40% power. Now that's cutting the 3 millimeter at 600 millimeters a second.
Pop-Up says he's been using Elmer's since childhood. Yeah, I think everybody did, and then once they grew out of childhood, they quit using it. But it happens to be it's a great all-purpose glue, especially for wood. If you're staying indoors with your products, you don't need like a Titan glue or anything like that, any expensive glue. I'm going to turn off my black layer and turn on my layer. Get the gold for this so that it's...
Jeremy's got some fancy clamps out there.
And I'll tell you what, I love these things.
Did you have to source those from overseas?
They probably came from there, but I got them at the other day.
Clayton saying thank you for the Veronica picture settings. Oh, you're welcome. No problem. And Pop-Up says he's never grown out of it. He's never outgrew his childhood. Yeah, that's what I was saying, Daniel. As long as it's indoor, it's an indoor project, it's going to be fine. If you get it wet, then it's not going to work very well. Yeah, it's just a white school glue. I buy it by the case. See, I had showed it one later. I buy it by the case, and it is 67 cents per piece.
My first piece is done, and I'm just wiping it with a microfiber to get the dust off.
These are your queso, not the original style. I get these by the case, and these are 400 powder. They last a really long time. They have a nice cap on it that seals off the glue when you're done. And I use it for all of my indoor projects.
Yeah, I've been using this stuff too. This thick and
I find
thick.
it great glue.
Yeah, this stuff dries clear. I like this.
Yeah.
And it stands.
Elmer.
Yep.
Elmer's does too, so does Appel.
I'm not allowed to use the Elmer right now. My kids have it. I bought my own.
Well, from what I can see on my screen over here, it looks like the engraving is coming out okay.
Yeah, Jeff, I'm not sure where I got the idea from. I actually have a couple of those plants from like a couple of years ago when I started working in the hostel shop here. And I used those to hold some stuff together, and so I thought they would work with these, and I went to some more. So.
That's a good idea, Tom. It's just the family food with titanium dioxide. I had a whole bag of that. Okay, there goes my line after fill.
Why does still need to go first again?
What's that?
Well, never mind.
I do have my settings a little bit stronger than usual, a little slower than usual because I painted the over this wood first.
Can't fucking believe it.
Looks like it is just about done with the
Where the
engraving,
fuck
and
did
I
it
can
go?
start cutting. I did lower my cutting speed as well.
Yeah, Jeff, I use these quite a bit too, but when you pinch these things, if you get them weird, it'll pull one side sideways and off, and yeah, those other little black ones look a lot better.
I have those too, Jeremy. Mine are a little bit smaller, I think.
Yeah. Harbor Freight specials.
Yeah, Chris, I think as far as Patrick and I are concerned, the only laser we would purchase ourselves personally would be the Lasermatic.
Yes.
Hello, Nipa.
All right, up on the screen I have the next part of the project, and I sized these so that you basically end up using two pieces of 12 by 12. So this is the second layer in the lower left, and then this is the third layer. See it pops right in. Here's my computer. Alright, so these are 4 different engraving settings for each of those elements. So they should have 4 different shades on the wood by the time it's finished. Alright, I'm just going to switch over to the wood. These were $1,000. It's loud. Alright, should be ready to go.
I thought about stealing some clothespins from my mom's house when I was over there, but
I saw that Mike on the phone. It's just on Lasermatic, and he's over the moon with it.
Right, it's working on the mom on the heart first.
I'm a little bit nervous about going and getting this off the laser. Hoping it all goes together well.
Greg is puzzled as to my project.
Puzzled?
Yeah, that was pretty funny.
Very funny, yeah. I just go down my cutting speed just a little bit to this project because when I put the wood outside earlier, I was thinking it was earlier, and I put it out in the sun and it worked. So I'm a little afraid of the
Here's the whole coated board that I use. This is came from Walmart, but it's pretty it's white on one side and stuff with shiny clear on the other, and then that's how it turned out. The green I screwed up, but that was my first one, and I wasn't happy with the position, and the glue had already dried. So I just pulled it out and popped it back down.
Jeremy, Patrick saying he's not familiar with the central road. I think you just rip it into the cutout, right?
yeah, like a little medicine dropper, or some of them actually come with the medicine droppers in the vials of the oil. And you just put a couple of drops in there with that. Drop it down through the holes in the books.
You just put a couple of drops in there, right?
Or in the flower, open petals of the flower.
Yeah. I wonder if I can use those for my fish oil factory. I wonder if that would probably smell good.
Yeah, if you want a bunch of neighborhood cats running around.
Thinking fish oil. What about olive oil even? Does that mean your car smell like olives?
It'd be rancid. It'd be rancid in a couple days. Sure. It's your car.
I'm just throwing ideas out there. Just spitballing.
I put this up here that they'll be available after the stream, but they are actually available now on lasermakersrome.com. So if you guys go over to lasermakersrome.com right now, you can follow along with it. Oh no, Roger. Roger says fish oil. So lasermakersrome.com, very first blog post, there'll be a zip file, and there'll be Jeremy and my files in there. Patrick didn't get that in time, but we can post it later on the same blog. But for right now, you can get our files and try them out yourself. I'm keeping my fingers crossed that this is going to work.
Jeff's comment, it said, "Don't worry, Patrick. It will come together one piece at a time."
Yeah, one piece at a time.
That's good.
All right, I'm getting pretty close. I'm at 79% now, so it's pretty close to the finish here for me.
I'm still cutting some brass out.
I missed the laser working on the first puzzle piece, running an offset fill. But you can see it up there in the corner. Take the camera off and move. That's right, there are 4 more to go. Like Jeff said, one piece at a time. Yep. I love watching the Rodney run offset fills. It's very satisfying.
Yeah, very cool. Hey Dave, welcome to the live stream.
Alright, this puzzle piece is running a 0 degree fill.
Yeah, Greg,
I'm sorry. Yeah, the top right piece, when it runs, it'll be a 90 degree fill.
Yeah, it's got a lot of smoke in there for 2 reasons, Greg. Number one, it's cutting, and number two, it's cutting a complete piece of wood. So that is now done. I'm going to keep my fingers crossed and go over and get it.
What in the world am I watching? What?
So a line just to outline the puzzle pieces, to further separate them visually. Top left and bottom right pieces are both offset fill, but at a little different settings, so they should have a slightly different appearance. Where's your laser camera, Jeremy?
I don't know what happened, but something has gone terribly wrong with my programming, and I can't get it to work while I'm on StreamYard.
Are you using OBS?
Yeah, I tried both, not using it, and then the settings somewhere where when I try to click over to my laser camera, it instantly goes
The
back
air
to
the water started coming out, so I turned the air
like a momentary switch.
full blast to get all the water out.
Okay, here is the moment of truth live in front of you. So this is the mom arrow. I have a little offset part right there that's supposed to fit through this guy right here. It's all as well. Should be able to, I just put the point a little bit tight. It is a little tight with the pin on there.
You got a hammer, you can do it.
Yeah, I don't know if I can do it on this one. That's going to be a tight fit. I didn't compensate for the paint. It's in there. But I'm going to have to get a pair of pliers to make this fit better. So I'll do that. Got my hammer right here. I'm going to hammer this and see what happens.
There's a larger view of my 4 different pills here. Cutting out that piece. Then remove one, cutting out the other 2 pieces.
Okay, that works. But I don't think I can get it down far enough. Should have compensated a little bit for the paint. I know it was just for the wood. Through the first piece. And there is a little thing on there that I'm sure you can't read. There's some names on there. It says, from Linda and Pete, we love you on the heart. Now, the question is, I guess I have to hammer this without. There we go. Press on it. Get it through.
Speaking of names, I made sure I left enough room around that heart so you could insert names into those puzzle pieces if you so choose. So if they're a family of 4 or 3 or 2, so just scatter some names around there.
And there's the second part of what I'm doing. I gotta go clean it up. I'll be right back.
So this is pressing in slowly but surely. Oh, you know, I could have just send it clean off again.
What's up, Night Train?
And this is part 2. Maybe if I put part 2 in the right spot and hammer it.
I know, motherfucker. What the fuck?
Weird. Then we could make this work. One way or another.
What the fuck? That's the cam.
I gotta press it a little bit. There we go.
You guys. These are work keys. Work keys.
Almost all the way in.
My speed.
I'm sure you want the pliers, huh?
No, don't forget.
I got them right here.
Stolen.
Yeah.
Lay the top on the laser camera.
Is that better, Night Train?
Get it in the right spot. Exactly where it holds its place, but it's not exactly in the right spot. There we go. That's the right spot right there.
Is that better?
a little bit.
That workbench is getting messy.
Piece of wood right on top.
Yeah.
Just heard it snap. Yeah, there we go. I got it. There it is. So, let me make this a little bit bigger. You can see it there. So there's my project. And doesn't even go. On the back side is just like the red. So it still looks pretty cool. That's that white stucco that I put on there. I know you can't really see this very well on camera. But that is the whole project right there. So if you're going to paint it first, then I would suggest that you make the slots just maybe 0.2 or so bigger. And yeah, there we go. Project done. Start to finish. I think it looks pretty good. Nothing on top of the label.
Alright, I'm gonna make my screen bigger. You see, I put these guys' lines on there. Very easy. They're also lines on the player. If we have we're using the color post board, we want it to be color.
Yeah.
You get a close up of the different fields there. And good night. It might have been over the first or whatever.
Yeah, I think this schematic just the sandpaper and done that. Pick it up. I didn't just tell you that to put a schematic in the way outside of both arriving this week. Yeah. That's right, Brett. You can always resort to a hammer. No matter. All I did was take a piece of wood and a hammer and lay it over that and snap it down.
Yep. Ernie, they do not. It's passive.
Oh, no, it's on the camera.
Ernie, you want me to pop it up?
Yeah.
No, they're cool. Research on them and says that they don't really need to hold them, and she's got it in the car.
Really like that. Who's my experience? That's what you Yeah, it's you, Patrick. I like to get some kind of weird background there that sounds like, then it's going to sound like a dialect meeting. There you go. Thank you.
Yeah, so it's called passive if you didn't hear me because of that noise. The air just kind of goes around it and pushes the scent out.
The mic is picking up the movie more than you.
Yeah, the different films always look nice when you mix them up like that. That's a pretty good job on that one.
Well, of course.
No, I don't want to get a headset with a mic. using the cam on the mic, and the mic is on the TV. Fucking box. Okay, work. No. I bet you that sounded good. Alright. How's that? Is that better? Let me play something on TV. Go back. What the hell? Huh? Does that sound better? Yeah, no, maybe. Can you hear me better now? No? You better, but it's picking up other noise big time. Probably the air. Move the camera, and I can hear Martin laughing on TV. Walk, walk. Don't know. This would have to go in.
I had a meeting with the state attorney's office yesterday, and they let us know exactly when Stephen the Rat Cunningham is going to jail.
I can't hear.
What a successful meeting with Marion County and College State Attorney's Office in regards to the rat, Stephen Cunningham, the son of Amanda Martin, the Levy County Victims Advocate, whose son actually attacked me. Interesting, isn't it? So in this meeting, I was interviewed, and then 3 of the 5 witnesses were interviewed, and they let us know when he'd be going to jail, which I will be sharing with you. So make sure you stay tuned. And when I say stay tuned, I actually mean stay tuned. There's going to be information. So the conversation started as, Jeremy, what we really want to know is any previous interaction you've ever had with Stephen the Rat Cunningham, except they called him Rat Stephen Cunningham, and what happened in the incident, and how you want to move forward in the judicial system because of the incident. And so that's pretty easy. We're going to the past, we're going to the present, and then we're going to go into the future, basically is what they're asking. And immediately I'm placed under oath. So you understand when you're placed under oath, raise your right hand, be swear to tell the truth, so help you God. Yes, yes I do. And the very first question that was asked of me was, have you had any prior, any type of relationship, contact, anything, history with Stephen the Rat Cunningham? Now, I obviously didn't even know who Stephen the Rat Cunningham was when this incident took place. It was later that my mind was blown to find out it was none other than Amanda Martin, the victim advocate's son. Tying in all of this corruption, tying in all of this ridiculous ignorance in this area, within the court system, within our court, within the Meeks family, and beyond, because it seems everybody somehow is related. So I had to communicate, this is a crazy story and a crazy situation, which they stated, that's what we want. Go ahead, tell your story. How do you tell a couple of years' worth of story within minutes with a state attorney? So basically, in a nutshell, what I shared was, I'm a full-time YouTuber. As such, I love helping and giving and paying it forward to people. And there are people who have seen that and witnessed that, and because of that, there are asks of my income and my money constantly, to the point where even somebody stalked me to the tiny town of Otter Creek, where nobody moves. If anybody moves, they're moving out of Otter Creek, they're not moving into. Especially if they claim to have a life-threatening, disabled child. You don't get away from your hospitals and medical specialists. You go closer.
Well, you're shit out of luck, because I can't find that splitter thing.
Opportunity for them to try and get money from me, because God wired me. I'm generous. I love giving, but I only give and help to those things that I find credible, that I find viable, that I find trustworthy.
I don't know.
And line that you put on those individuals. So how do you explain to a state attorney's office, oh, by the way, we have future meetings with this incident and these people too? Which I did explain that to them, because it is on the schedule. And so you are going to hear more about the state attorney's office in Marion County pursuing against Lynette and Crook. Now, here's one thing I want to share with you. There is a
I don't know. I can't find the splitter thing.
Many know his name, especially Craig the Thomas, who has clearly stated to me. He said, Jeremy, I never, ever take a case in Marion County as the defense lawyer. And he goes, did I ever tell you that? I said, no. I said, why? He goes, because everybody gets charged. Everybody gets charged.
Send them all to jail.
Winning if you're on the defense.
Send them to jail.
Play around. And wow. Well, this is good news for me, understanding that Rhett is now in the trap of Marion County, who puts all people, all individuals that have committed a crime in jail, and everything with Lynette and Cook are now moved over into Marion County as well. You know what? The sweet tea, I like sweet tea. Except now I love it. I love sweet tea. So I have to explain to the state attorney's office that I had a dinner meeting with Madam Mayor Therese, her husband Brett, and the individuals that they sold their campground to. We wanted to meet the new couple that purchased the campground, and we wanted to help be friends to them, as Brett and Therese and Brett were to us, because it was really because of Madam Mayor and Brett that helped us feel at home, that helped us really transition from Ohio to the campground to our creek to our property. They have been beyond neighborly, beyond friendly, beyond helpful, and we want to be the same for anybody that we can moving into the area. So I actually asked them, can you coordinate a dinner meal, and I'll pay for dinner, and we just want to meet them and get to know them and establish a friendship, which they did.
I almost
So
burned my
George
cutter.
and I were out to eat with Madam Mayor and her husband, the new campground owners, and before then, I was at Walmart in Chiefland. Now, as I'm exiting Walmart, and I know you're thinking, what do you go to Walmart when you got a dinner plan? Because I was looking at clearance toys. That it's one of the things that I do to relax. It's one of the things that I do to, you may say, de-stress. You know, some people go get a massage. Some people play music really loud. Some people play video games. I like toys. I am a 10-year-old in a 47-year-old body. It's who I am, the way God wired me, and so I enjoy vintage toys, new toys, and clearance toys. I don't like paying full price for anything. But I thought, well, as long as I'm going to barbecues, Walmart's right down the road. I got 15 minutes to spare. I'm just going to go see if there's any toys on clearance. And so as I come out of Walmart, somebody is staring at me so weird. Now, it's not uncommon for George and I to be stared at wherever we go. It's actually very
hungry.
If we are out in the public, that at least one person is going to recognize us. As a matter of fact, we were just in Gainesville at Dave & Buster's this past weekend, and as we exited our table from eating to play a game, immediately there was a fan with his sons, and he said, I watch you all the time. And so, if you're watching right now, it's great to say hi and get to know you, and thank you for watching. And so it's not uncommon that we are recognized, and you typically can you learn to understand the stare. And there's a couple of different stares. There's one stare, I know who you are, but I'm going to let you live your life normal in the public eye. There's another stare, I think I know who you are. Who are you? Oh my goodness. Where's the gray hoodie? I'm wearing this. No gray hoodie. Oh my goodness.
I don't want to hear it, Night Train.
That was Cedar Key, Popo. They were like, oh my goodness, I finally figured it out. Like Jeremy knows what the hell. That was a couple of weekends ago where that one happened. But this is all the time. And there's another stare. I know who you are, and I am immediately going to come and talk to you. And that's completely okay if we're out in public. This stare was not any of those stares. This stare was and constant. The eye contact didn't break. As I'm walking and she's maybe 50 feet away, I'm going, this is psychotic is what it is. This is a psychotic stare, which is all on Walmart's cameras, which is all on subpoenas, because Amanda Martin is under independent investigation from the Levy County State Attorney's Office, and all this is being sent over to Marion County as well for arrest. And so
well, the stair didn't break, and it didn't break, and it didn't break.
There's a different stair than you got in the parking lot at the Levy County Courthouse.
In the stair-head parking lot in the Levy County Courthouse, like the most constipated, I'm going to tear up this outhouse stair I've ever seen. And where we had does anybody know who this individual is? Which we didn't even know who the rat was when this incident took place. But it was fans that identified Amanda Martin, the victim's advocate, and it was fans that identified the rat as well. So from 50 feet out, and then 40, and then 30, and then 20, and then 10, and then I'm like, oh my goodness. I was like, Amanda Martin, out in the wild. I can't wait to talk to your supervisor. That was my exact words, and that'll be on Walmart camera as well. Because I was already trying to get in contact with your supervisor, because Lynette and Cook had broken the civil protection order. Levy County had actually said that she, Amanda Martin, was going to be my victim's advocate. Huge conflict of interest, right? So that was at around 4:45 on a Sunday evening, which then I left immediately. I went to barbecues.
Yeah.
Now, there is no doubt in my mind, but I did share this with the state attorney. I cannot prove it, although I'm sure cameras can, and we can subpoena those cameras. Amanda Martin most likely then followed me, then stalked me, saw I was at barbecues, went and got the rat, because we actually looked at what it would take for the rat Cunningham to walk from his home to barbecues, and via Google Maps, it would be over 40 minutes. And it was roughly 30 minutes or so, or 40 minutes, somewhere in that, from the time that Amanda Martin saw me, and then must have stalked me, then must have went and got her son, the rat, dropped him off because he was on foot. And then he comes in, and he comes in, and he goes around, and all he does is buy a sweet food. Can you imagine having to explain to a state attorney's office in another county that the victim's advocate for the county you're in actually is part of this corruption and this ring and dropping her son off to assault and batter you? I mean, this is just mind-blowing, and it's mind-blowing for the state attorney's office as well. So the question went on in regards, can you retell the incident? Now, they already have video, and we have video as well. Chiefland Police, who actually responded to this, have asked us not to release the video until it's all done. So we have video of what happened inside, where he hit me in my shoulder, and we have video of what happened outside, where he dumped all his sweet tea on me. And so I'm asked to recount all of that.
Yeah.
But before I recount all of that, one of the things I share with the state attorney's office is Amanda Martin has said to my own attorney, Mark Feather, how could you represent that effing a person? Do you imagine the look on their face hearing this from a victim's advocate? I mean, it's mind-blowing to anybody outside of this bubble of corruption. And so I go on to explain what happened, and particularly what she wants to know, and they want to know, is, do you, number one, know that man? And the answer is no. I've never seen Stephen the Rat Cunningham before in my life. I've never known him from anybody else. No clue. I didn't even know who he was when the incident happened. And so they want to know, well, did he acknowledge you as he walked in? So what had happened is there were 6 of us in the middle of the actual restaurant. You know, I will show a clip of us in the restaurant right here. He comes in the front door, and then he goes to the register. He doesn't say anything yet. He goes, and he gets a sweet tea. When he comes around, which none of us, the 6 of us, are thinking nothing, we didn't even acknowledge, he didn't acknowledge us. He comes around, and the first thing he does is he hits me in the shoulder behind, and it is open palm. And so the video will show it's open palm like this in my shoulder. And you will see in the video my shoulder goes like this, and it startles me beyond, and I'm like, literally in the video, it startles me to that point. So it was a open palm hit in the shoulder, followed by this Levy County's biggest
let's see, female kitty cat. It's Ruby County's biggest female kitty cat. Now, you have to understand where I'm sitting at in my life and everything that's gone on. I have heard Crook say it's Ruby County's biggest coward, that Crook continues to wrap his leg up to his crotch. However, Crook came up with Jeremy as Ruby County's biggest coward. Okay, it's the coward of Ruby County. That's what it is. Coward of Ruby County. However in the world he came up with that, I'm not sure yet, because I'm not convinced that I've done any cowardly acts. As a matter of fact, I'm pretty convinced that I'm doing everything to fight the corruption, and I'm doing everything the legal way to make sure that things are taken care of appropriately, and people are safe, and animals are safe. Now, if that's cowardly, geez, I would hate to know what heroic is to this thing. You know what heroic is. Come on. It's wrapping your leg up to your crotch. That's what a true hero does. They don't wear tape. They wear bandages to the crotch and beyond. So what he does is hits me open palms in the shoulder. George is sitting next to me. I believe Madam Mayor Therese is sitting next to me as well. I believe, because I didn't look at the video before I inserted it. Okay, I am in the middle. And then
I'm to the right of you. She's to the left.
All right, so there you have it. And we're not going to show the specific incident because we've been asked not to. We legally can show it, but we have said we will not show it as of yet. We will show it later when this is all dealt with.
We have the receipt. We have the proof.
That's the beautiful thing.
We've shared a screenshot about it.
That's the beautiful thing, is that we do have all of those things. And so, once he calls me the biggest female kitty cat in Levy County, at first I think it's some kind of joke. And obviously I'm getting hit in the shoulder, which has never happened out in the public before. This is the first time this has ever happened. Now, there have been rude individuals before. For example, we've been at a flea market in Ohio, and we were filming, and some punk said, "How do you like stealing all that money from people?" In other words, what he's referring to is we buy storage units, and he considers that theft. Or we buy low and then resell, and he thinks he associates that with stealing. Except
when I heard him typing on the tape,
he's doing the exact same thing. He's trying to get things lower. Okay, so we've had verbal confrontations where I just go, "Hey, thanks for watching," and we've never had a physical confrontation. So it takes me back to the point where I'm like, "Is this a joke? Is somebody punking us? Is this sarcasm?" Wrong way to do sarcasm is to touch somebody. The legal definition of battery in Florida First statute is unwanted touch. That unwanted touch can literally just be, if it's unwanted, that's battery per the state statute. And so to have a hit open palm and then all of a sudden be called these vulgar things, at first I'm like, "Hey man," I'm thinking it's a fan making some kind of joke, just trying to be like sarcastic, like the Crook or somebody like that. But it became extremely evident with the more vile comments that this was not sarcasm, this was hostile. And the very first thing that went through my mind is, number one, I love the Bell family who owns that Bubba Cruz restaurant. And I love the employees that work there. They are phenomenal. I sometimes come in with some of the craziest requests, and they take care of us. And as such, we always ask that people take care of them as well. As a matter of fact, if you're in the area, if you're in Levy County, please go eat at Chief Lemon Barbecue. It is one of the greatest places. I love the atmosphere, I love the people, I love the owners, and
it's small, but
the food is amazing.
The decorations.
The decorations are literally what has inspired. If you just take a peek around here, it is Bubba Cruz that has inspired all the ways that we've tried to decorate. And here, as you look there, here, even on the ceiling, clocks all set to 11:11, which some people understand that's significant.
What?
JC. Things literally everywhere. That's what has inspired this freaking floor. So, what if you want a selfie. And at that point, on video, and I forgot about that until I watched the video again, Rat actually takes out his phone and turns his phone on. Now, I can't tell by the actual store, the restaurant surveillance camera, if he's actually videoing or not, but you can tell, like my screen is on right now, you can tell that his screen is on. And frankly, I think he was videoing. So
I know that he's recording.
Okay.
I have him.
So he recorded. All right. And George, you'll actually see in the video as well, George takes her phone out immediately and attempts to record inside the restaurant. But sometimes when we go to record, this is the crazy thing. Like sometimes when we go to record, something as simple and silly as this, and we think we hit record, but we didn't. And now we're doing this, but nothing is happening. And so that's happened on more than one occasion. So when you're in the intensity of the situation, sometimes your actual phones fail. Remember, we're going to tell you when he's going to jail as well, because they're told us. So what happens is I go, you know what? You must want to come on outside. I'll give you the autograph that you want. And so what I'm trying to do is de-escalate the situation inside, which is extremely uncomfortable when I'm meeting two brand new people who I've never met before in my life. This is the first time a negative incident has happened in the public outside of my life. And it's when I'm meeting two people I've never met before. Which, you know, to you're thinking, great. Now they're never even want to go hang out again. They're never going to go to dinner again. You know, they're going to think this is what life is all about. And it's not. Most people are so polite. Even if they don't like you, if they're a hater, most haters are cowards, and they would never tell you they're a hater to your face. What they do is go, can I have your autograph? That's what haters normally and typically do. Or they want a picture and they want a selfie. So they're real tough online, the keyboard warrior haters. But when they see you in person, they want your autograph and they want a selfie. So this was a first for me, very much so a first. And it was awkward because I was first time meeting a brand new couple that I want to welcome into Otter Creek and I want to be friendly and neighborly with. And so I tell Rhett if he comes outside, if he comes outside, I'll give him exactly what he wants. They then wanted to know all the witnesses involved. George was obviously one. There were 4 others, 2 couples as well that I've already acknowledged. And she asked whether they had seen or even videoed the incident, which they did. But most of the incident was videoed on the outside of the restaurant. We have the video evidence from the inside of the restaurant. And this is what I found extremely concerning. She stated that they're trying to work with Levy County to get all the video, and they're not getting it. The only video evidence that they have is from the outside with the sweet tea being poured on me, which came from George's phone. They've not been able to get Levy County to actually release the assault that happens in my shoulder inside. And so she said, does anybody have that? I said, well, yeah, I do. I already have it from the restaurant. And I told her, I said, I will bring it to you on a flash drive tomorrow, which is actually today. Don't you find it concerning that Levy County isn't supplying Marion County with all of the evidence, the video evidence, when Amanda Martin is actually employed by Levy County? Now, if that isn't just a huge red flag, and that the Rat Cunningham is her son, I don't know what kind of red flag there is. They then asked the question, you absolutely did not know that Stephen Cunningham was Amanda Martin's son. Yep, never seen him before, couldn't ever have recognized him. And then they went on to state, how did you find out? When did you realize? And this was the mind-blowing incident when I received a phone call, because there were multiple people who witnessed this incident. As a matter of fact, the state attorney states in the video outside that they see 2 other people recording this incident as well. And there were people taking pictures. And some of those people immediately put those pictures online on social media and said, can you identify this person? And so we had no idea who it was. We had no idea the connection. We went home to get ready for a Sunday night live stream received a phone call and said, hey, we've identified who this individual was, and you're never going to believe it. It's Amanda Martin's son. It was the internet that actually identified him, with the spectators around took pictures, posted it, and then people identified it, and then the internet got back to us and said, you're never going to believe it. Amanda Martin's son, which I immediately called my lawyers, and I went, you're never going to believe it. It's Amanda Martin's son. At moments before we went live, literally moments before we went live, and they were like, you're right, we don't believe it. We can't believe it's Amanda Martin's son. Like, how in the world does this stuff keep coming full circle in this whirlpool of corruption in Levy County? And one of the comments that was made was, it's not only do we have him, but we got him. I was then asked how I wanted to proceed forward with this, and they said, we assume you want to prosecute. I said, absolutely, but I don't know what my options are in prosecution. Can you explain that to me? And they went on to say, well, just so you know, even though we're handling all of this in Marion County, the actual court cases are going to happen in Levy County. Now, if it was in Marion County courts, what would happen is he would receive up to 1 year in prison. He would be in county jail for 1 year, or he could also receive 12 months of probation. She also went on to say that he's going to receive anger management classes. He's going to have to do community service. They will also make sure that he has an injunction against him to where he cannot go places that I frequently visit. So, for example, he will no longer be able to go to Walmart and Chiefland. He'll no longer be able to go to Bubba-Cruise in Chiefland. He'll no longer be able to go to the Tipsy Cow or the trading market. What is it, George? The trading post in Cedar Key. He won't be able, all of these areas will be listed.
I will in a little bit.
He may not be where I go. It will all be dependent on prosecution within the court system, but they're going to push for 1 year of jail, or it could be 1 year of probation. And that year of jail then follows with probation, community service, anger management. So it's also going to be rug screening, because it was evident that he even states on video, again, we haven't shared this yet, George asked him, she goes, are you rump or are you I? As a type. And he goes, both. And so one of the things that they're looking at is also rug screening and rump screening and things along those lines. So they asked me, how do you want to proceed? And I said, I want to proceed. Well, let me back up a little bit. She said, after this intake, this was the initial intake communication meeting, they then dive into his criminal history, because his criminal history is going to determine how harsh they are with him. And so I'm going to say at the right age of 20, he's 20 now, right? Or 21. Yeah, he's underage. So he's 20. How foolish. How extremely foolish to start your adulthood with this insanity on your record now. And so they'll look back at his previous history and they'll determine the severity based on that as well. Is he repeat offender, things along those lines. Now, to my knowledge, all I know is this is what happened to me. And she said then there will be a plea deal, and they will contact me, and his side will say, well, we'd like to make a plea deal for this, and my side will say, and I already told them, I said, no plea deal, nothing. I said, further extended the law. There's already been so much mercy and so much grace for years from me in this place, in Otter Creek, Levy County, with the neighbors. Because you're seeing it now on a camera doesn't mean there wasn't years of patience and grace and mercy. And I said, there will be no plea deal, don't even entertain it. I want fullest extent of the law. And so she explained to me what fullest extent of the law would be. Now, that doesn't mean that he's going to jail. As a matter of fact, I asked the question later in the conversation, after they questioned the witnesses, George, Brett, Madam Mayor. Madam Mayor and Brett happened to be staying at our schoolhouse in their RV overnight, which is completely legal based on county statutes. If you put it in the so they were completely legal staying at our place as a stopping point after traveling up north now. And so they were interviewed as well. And then I came back into the interview and asked the question, when will he go to jail? And we'll share that with you in just a bit. Their biggest question was, would you be able to identify the rat in court so that we can prosecute? Remember, Marion County does not play around. If you commit a crime, you're going to do the time. In which I stated, absolutely I can identify him. I'll never forget his face. As a matter of fact, now when George and I go into barbecues, which we still frequent and we still love, we sit in a location to make sure we always are facing the door, waiting to see if anybody is ever going to attempt something like this again. Now, we went weeks later, and a big old burly man came through the door. And he came up to me and he said, I watch you all the time, and he shook my hand. And my response was, yeah, he did. And my response was, man, thank you for being so polite. I said, the last time I was in here, I actually told you I just want to tell you, I appreciate you. And then the state attorney's office wanted to talk to George for Orchester.
As I was being interviewed by the state attorney's office, one of the questions that I was asked was, do you recollect what happened inside of the restaurant? And that's what I explained to her, that I heard a loud thump on Jeremy's shoulder since I was sitting right next to him, and you could see, and I remember being startled, both him and I were startled, and you could tell in our body language that we were startled. And then once I heard Rhett call Jeremy the vulgar names that he did, I knew it was not a fan and that it was him being hostile. I immediately took out my phone and started recording, but because of the nervousness, I didn't hit record. It wasn't until we were outside when I realized I wasn't recording, and I started recording. But out of respect for the owners of the restaurant, which we are friends with, Jeremy wanted to take the verbal altercation from inside of the restaurant outside.
They went on the interview Madam Mayor Priest and Husband Brett next. And then they started to communicate with me again. I was brought back in for any additional questions. And so some of the questions that I have is this actually being recorded right now? And if it is this public information? Because I would actually like this. And they did state that this was not being recorded, but any other time that we communicate, they can record for me and it can become public information. They stated that most individuals don't want this type of thing recorded because it's, number one, embarrassing when it happens to them. It's awkward, and they don't want it to happen again. But in my situation, I want people to know what's happening. I literally want the planet to know, if you assault me, if you batter me when I'm out in public, you will go to jail. I want it to be known this is not okay. And then I also asked the question in regards to when will I know or how will I know when things are proceeding forward? And the state attorney's office in Marion County stated that they have a very heavy court schedule at the beginning of this week, and then it dies down to where they'll be able to proceed. So they said we will know in regards to the rat in court with prosecution this week as I'm filming and releasing, or as late as next week. And so that's pretty good, in my opinion, moving much faster than it has since the original incident. And obviously, my final question is, what ultimately will happen to him? Is he going to jail? And as far as they could state is, they want to see him in jail. But if it's a first offense, he most likely will receive the 1 year of probation, or he's going to receive some jail time, 1 year probation, community service, drug screening, and everything else that goes with it, including anger management. And here I am thinking, you know what? Probably all of Levy County should go through some corruption management. And don't poke a bear who's willing to swing back. The legal way. The only right way.
Picture this. Aspen Dental provides all your denture care in one room. DNA computer connection system. Orange alert. Unidentified target picked up on radar. All units, stand by to intercept target. A UFO is heading for Japan.
Target is now approaching, entering the southern air defense zone and is possibly heading north off Iwo Jima.
Intercept. 2 F-15s dispatched from the Akori Air Base. Any visuals? Yes, sir. Coming up. Target approaching. Now entering airspace.
Why is there much time?
Target has disappeared. We've lost the radar signal, sir. Was it shot down?
No missile reached the target.
We're getting a visual from the satellite, sir.
disconnected. Something disconnected. Oh my god, this is gonna be fucking fun.
Practical Train Online. Each step closer separately. Discover more to create.
Pitching a trailer used to be a two-person job. With F-150, it's a one-button job. The new 2024 Ford F-150 with Pro Trailer Pitch Assist. Hey guys, don't
Oh, I just moved it. Fucking.
Check out this machine. We fire off the materials.
Check keyboard, mouse.
And
Mouse is working.
Stay tuned. We're going to do some playing. That's something for much more for all you know.
Keyboard's working.
I did a quick test and then a test. And just looking at this, the main question is about 1 millimeter per second. So,
keyboard's working.
Just start out with 1 millimeter per second, and it put out at 70 to 100% power.
I don't know.
10 millimeters per second.
Whatever.
100% power as well. So, millimeters per minute would be about 600 millimeters. Around 350 so it's pretty good for this 3 millimeter pulse approach. This is essentially plywood and so it comes through a little bit quickly. And then looking at our engraved test, got a nice gradient here, and third test, the 100 millimeters per second around to 400 millimeters per second. Definitely getting nice gradient. We've got some nice developers all on the side. The big difference here is down at the bottom. It's very, I think it went through almost a third of the material there for 100% power. And so if you want to have that deep and very look, if you want to do a little bit of color inlay with, some really thin optical stuff, this is a machine that's going to be able to latch you some material and, but if you're just looking at a gradient and not want to go too deep, if you're at 400 millimeters per second, it's doing pretty well, and we're still getting this raise. You may get that 10% with just the heat, but definitely from 20 to 400, or from 20 to 100 at 400 millimeters per second, still having that rate. So this is all in the 40 watt phone. I haven't tested the 10 watt phone, and it's very impressive, very quick, and getting some nice variation. I'm impressed with it. And so I did flip it down to the 10 watt setting for Engrave to kind of see what the difference is here. And I did also bump the power down to 75 millimeters per second, 375 versus the 100 and 400. Just to compare a little bit. And you can see definitely a lighter gradient up here. But this would also hopefully give us a little more definition. So looking at the 375, it is lighter in this range, but we still have some nice solid gradient there. And we do still have some depth down here at the 75 millimeters per second. So this is definitely a hot laser for the 10 or 30 watt settings, but it does give you some flexibility in the function on that. I guessed just my power settings this morning, so I didn't do it the customer. I was at, I think, 5.5 millimeters per second, and it wanted to get through most of the top and bottom of the spectrum, but I didn't quite make it all the way through. So we're really have to dial that in, but honestly, for cutting, we're going to be running this on the 30 watt setting. Play around for a little bit more, but quickly out of here. And we'll see what else we can get done with this, and then maybe show you a few of the things on here that I find to be maybe unique or done really well. So we'll let's jump back and play around with this and see what we find. So I thought I'd do some quick engravings based on my test. And of course, still standard. This is my Imperial Workshop logo out of 2mm approach. And really came out really nice. So the engravings even the lines, sometimes you get very lines in there, but these are pretty nice and tight. So overall, I did a nice quality job on the vector engraving. And then I wanted to play around with image engraving and also swap between the 30 watt setting as well as the 10 watt setting. So started out on the 30 watt setting here, and this is a legal image. And this was run at 350 millimeters a second at 84%. It didn't do a bad job, but really felt like it wasn't getting the wood detail in the face. So I wanted to switch it up to the 10 watt setting, and here you see this on the bottom here. And a fairly nice engraving out of that, got a lot more detail in the face, a lot more contrast feeling. And this was run at on the 10 watt setting, 130 millimeters a second, 100% core. And these tests were just run with settings off of my test grid, so I wanted to give a 30 watt another chance. See if it maybe was a little bit better. So tweak the settings a little bit. This is 30 watt again at 250 millimeters a second, 100% power. Got a little darker and a little bit of detail on the face. Right, so here are the two side by side. The 30 watt is over here and the 10 watt is over here. Got a little darker out of the 30 watt. We were running this at 250 millimeters a second, 100% power. The 10 watt we were running at 140 millimeters a second, 100% power. And both are pretty decent. It's probably not coming out on the camera that great, but I'm still getting a little more detail in on the camera over here. So there's still some advantages to being able to switch that down to 10 watt with that smaller spots. And so kind of good thing to see on it. I know they have all lasers with no without putting stuff down. And so there may be some cases where you might be. This isn't a full review as I'm just visiting and I'm not going to tell you surprise. I'm not going to really dig into it. I wanted to take a chance to get some first impressions, use it a little bit, and most people have asked me that from before. This is really my first time seeing what I'm getting to play around from. I thought the whole thing from my computer and just test stuff that way. So I thought I'd just really briefly show you some of the things I think are nice about it, my brief little introduction to it. Along with maybe anything that I think could be improved. So let's start with some of the features on it. This is a really nice full frame. It's a Korean full frame. The corners are rounded very nicely. Everything's milled very nicely. This is not something that would feel is just hastily put together. I didn't do any assembly. I didn't do any boxes. So I can't speak to anything of the parts that you need to put together. From what I understand, it's pretty much assembled on a box.
Don't act so excited. I'm tired.
Maybe. So really for an out-of-the-box experience, what I understand, it's pretty nice. And what I'm seeing here after boxes, it is a pretty nice thing. It is well lit. It's got some nice colors to light it up pretty well in there. And so visually, it has a powerful look. The camera at the top, that seemed to work pretty well. It was fairly spot on in driving the truck going. And so that seems to be some really nice. You do seem to have a panel at the front and back. And continues to black background. So the technical structure everything and the color and
that one came out darker. What the fuck?
The one thing that I noticed in using it that maybe they anticipated the fans and so there's a little bit of it's not deafening. It's not deafening. It's not deafening, but if you're sitting next to it constantly working, trying to have a conversation, you're definitely going to want to look down and really make
Well, how y'all doing? It's football again.
Yeah, so it's a bit quieter in here without having that word. One of the other cool features that I really like is
well, how y'all doing? It's football again.
Actually is keyed into the post here. So I'll try to get a sense of the comparison of things in these four corners, and those align with these slots in this honeycomb. And so that locks this honeycomb in place with the realistic.
Listen here.
You really don't need any fixtures or games.
I didn't sit all day.
Because also,
unlike some other people.
You have these measurements on most honeycombs. All you can do is always measure them out. Well, this one with those points feeds into a 0.02.
Get suckered to do other people's fucking work.
In this corner, we've got the metric measurements. Well, if you spin it 180 degrees, then now you've got it for us. So they're really trying to cover the step for people using both measurements. So that is a feature that most people are going to watch more lasers. Great to see on here. People take note that there's more of a standard. In this case,
you don't look right with this haircut.
To like a PC face frame, and it does seem to me that you're okay to help with this, but this setup over here isn't ideal. And I think about that, but just struggling a little bit in here. I noticed when doing some heavy cleaning that it would build up a little bit of smoke in the face, but it would have smoke in it. Doing engraving on that, it seems to be
yeah, I think this will be it. I'm hungry. I gotta go check to see if there's more eggs.
It's not helping the situation. So I can't really speak to how effective this is. The one thing that I don't know if it's available or not is I would love to see to be able to just a port that I can hook up to my standard 4-inch exhaust at home. So if I had this laser, I'd love that to be optional. You can run it if you need it, or be able to remove it and just have a shroud that would adapt to a 4-inch hose. Maybe that's available again. I'm just kind of getting my hands on this one, feeling out, see what I think about it. But that would be something I'd love to see in the future if it's on the government.
Import. Yep.
So one thing that I've noticed in using it this weekend is the motion is very smooth. If you have linear rails on that move very smoothly, and the fast movements, the white space scanning, that seems to go very quickly. So it kind of area very quickly like the next one is doing that, and it's very accurate, precise with it. And that can have a huge impact on the productivity of the job. So it's nice to see how well that performs. The other thing is the focusing. They have a pretty typical setup. So you would have your material down in here, and they've got the 3-step tool here. So they have you as typical engraving or cutting up to 1/8 material on top, and then they kind of step it down for 6 and come down with the material. So nice to give you a beautiful height there. But you simply unlock it with one thumb screw, and then this is very smooth, very and you don't have to spin it a bunch to get it up and down, but it still feels like you could really dial it up very easily. So you just put your block underneath there, make sure that phone stops to the top, and then you set it down and you can start to pull back a little bit. So name on the focus, I could take it or leave it on most of my focuses. I've seen some do it well and some do it poorly. Having fine narrows like this, so I think they've done a good job on here. So we're going to let some laser focus on that. It is controllable through like
Oh my god. That's fuck. I don't remember. No, they're different.
No problem. Seems to work really well. The air system on there, even if you pull on the end of the line, seems to do a good job of funneling that air down to the point of the cup. And even if you keep it down, and it seems that the shape and the way that the airflow moves through the module does keep it clean and not a lot of chance for stuff to come over. So seems to be some decent thought into the design of the module and the whole system. And so I love what I'm seeing here. I really don't have anything other than, like I said, I'd love to see one control from the anyway, I just had fun today and play around with this, and it's want to thank Frank for allowing me to jump in and follow this. He said under no circumstances am I allowed to run off with it when I have to leave here and when I clear. So, and so unfortunately, this is going to have to stay here. I'm going to have to probably go back home.
Oh my god, it's 9 o'clock.
I just kind of wanted to get some first
Me
about the stage. I haven't had the chance to play around with one until now.
How big is that?
I think it is a high-end laser. I think a lot of the hype that's around it is founded. Do I think it's the Engraving laser? It's not. There's only one laser that works for it. Always going through things that maybe if the laser doesn't work. This one you kind of have a high-end system. You do put a little bit more upfront, but you are getting most of everything that you ever need with the laser for this side. You can take the bottom out. You can do work on some items larger than that, but with anything with those lasers, there are going to be some limitations in some ways. You may find some scenarios where this doesn't work for you, and you'll need something that's a little more flexible. But for 90% of the time, this obvious laser, I think this one's going to handle it pretty well. And so it's definitely something we're looking at. I think it's definitely something that if you've got a budget to step up into this laser right away, it definitely should be one of the ones that you list. But there are others out there, and competition always breeds leaps. Manufacturers leap over each other with new innovations and new features, and so I don't want to see anyone go away. I want to see them continue to challenge each other. I want really Lasermatic to continue to challenge X2 and Nanosonic and others, just the same as vice versa. So hopefully this will answer some of these questions of what are my impressions of the laser. What do I think about it? I think it is a good laser. I would love to have one in my shop. And maybe in the future I'll be able to figure that out sooner. But now it was nice to get my hands on one and so Frank, thanks again for letting me take over part of your shop and we play around with the laser. And we're going to give people some of my information. If you're curious about this whole links down below, they're not affiliate links or anything, but I can pass that on so you can take a look a little more at this laser. I will have links to my Etsy shop and some of the general items around my shop and the product shop that I use. Those will be Amazon affiliate links, and maybe a good way to help my channel out, and a way to help support me. Hopefully, the things that you'd be buying anyway, and that's just going to help me out. And get into things that you can use anyway. So I always appreciate that support, and but most of all, I just appreciate you all watching this, hanging out, checking out my videos, commenting on them, and supporting them. I'm having my shop, but I'm having my shop. Just trying to continue to bring good information out to everyone there and keep the conversation going. So, hope you enjoyed this. Hope it was informational and educational. And this was all for the video.
Okay. No.
Stay down.
Stay down. Stay down. You idiot. Stay down. You're all fucking muddy. Bitch. We done yet? Are we done yet?
but basically everything is inside the box except for a line itself. The airfield part, which is kind of traditionally what you would see. When you put this thing out of the box, you have the machines, you have two different tabs, the great about the airfield part, the cables, and that's it. Everything else is made to it. The only thing required is you run the hose from the airfield to the machine, and the power from the machine to the airfield, and take the power from the hose.
Yeah.
It does operate off of either USB or Wi-Fi via the Wi-Fi antenna within the house if you do have to stay on. But guys, I've been using Wi-Fi for 50 days now, and it's great fun. It does have really easy way to connect to the Wi-Fi once you remote into the machines and it operates like a live. But we created this machine for vision. And I think part of that reason is because this kind of is where I envision a lot of laser is going through. Even with the batteries now, we're getting up into higher powers. But also because, guys, it's such a camera is built into it. You can see what you're doing. I have used a lot of materials. I'm going to touch on some of that real quick. Let's look at some of the features of the machine. And I thought it's built in France. It's built in light.
Oh, God.
You open the door. When you close the door, they come on. It's pretty well planned, pretty well thought out. The engine, I will say that if you're going to leave this up, the one thing I'm saying is you need to push it back, pretty high.
Fucking glue.
So you got to make sure you open it up all the way. So if you put this somewhere, you're going to need to allow enough height above the machine to be able to raise the door all the way up. We've got about 50 millimeters to work with on the inside with the bottom slip.
Fucking glue. Alright, people. And it works fairly well. And I'm going to show you this first because that's what it's going to do. So this is my test reel that I did with the machine, guys. This was just a regular test reel in there. I'll show you what it looks like. This is set off the laser. That's the test reel that lets you run into software. And I ran the settings that are all around me when I put in the red symbol. This is red. It's not black. So I went with red. The settings that are in the software. Two cards.
So there was no need for the adjustment. And I also think the question, guys, this machine does a really good job of photos. So I decided to just throw a picture in there instead of doing it with a blue camera without doing anything with the settings. And so I did a picture of a deer on the camera with red settings. It's a deer in the forest. And that was their settings. And that's pretty anything.
Okay, people. It's end time.
So that's pretty good result.
Thanks for coming. I have a Siberian Husky. Thanks for coming. I'll see you tomorrow.
Well, how y'all doing? It's football again.
And you just want to get started using the camera, the right software configured.
Bye. Thanks for coming.